This is the Rushmore Show where it's all about your top four and nothing more. Man, 7 people already in the chatty chat. What's up, guys? Say hello. Welcome to the show, Summit Squad. We are here. We are live, and we're ready to get it down with our buddy Zach. So we'll bring Zach on here in a little bit. But before we get there, let's chat about this month. 8 in the house. Say hello, Kevin, Barry, Fat Boy, all you guys. Fox is in the house. Fox is going to be on the show here pretty soon. He's scheduled for music. Kevin, you ready to come back on for a movies or a music? Let me know, Barry. We got to get you out from behind the shadows, and let's get this thing going. So, Andy, we have had an eventful week, man. It's been snow days. We've been staying at home. We went live. Had 1,800 people showed up in our live. That's nuts. Hey, Zach, what's up, fellas? God bless you, my brothers. Just became a fan and love what you guys do. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, look, before you head out, and if you're going to stay around, let me tell you a little bit about that. But welcome to the Summit Squad. This is for you. And let me know how to say it. Isaac? Well, here, this is for you. Hey, so Isaac, whatever it is. Hey, welcome to the show. And look, what we do
right
is
there.
It's pronounced Isaac. Perfect. I got it right. Kind of enunciating through it. So we're the Rushmore Show. So we rank our top 4 in 6 different categories. We're in video game series these next 2 months, and we have a lot of cool creators. So if you love what we're doing today, you're going to love what's coming up and what we just did. We have a huge playlist as far as video games go, but it's video games, music, movies and TV, nostalgia, sports, and food. If you love any of those things and want to be on the show and you want to be a host with us, hit us up in that Instagram. There it is, going right below us. Bing, bing, bing. DM us. TikTok, we almost took that off, but it's still there. We don't really do much there, but hey, and Twitter, we don't really do much there either, or the Discord, to be honest. But you can go join all of that, and we welcome you guys being here. Let's say hello to our friends, Andy, while you're there, and say what's up.
Well, we got Isaac in the house. Kenneth Bird is here tonight. Barry. It's not a show without Barry in the chat here. We're going to get Barry on the show one of these days. But yeah, I
told him maybe top 4 harmonica players in the music.
Hey, I was thinking about that. Honestly, Barry, top 4 harmonica songs. So songs featuring the harmonica. I think I have my
Piano Man?
Which is weird that Piano Man is about a piano man and it's more known for the harmonica. But I guess Harmonica Man doesn't syllabically work very well for that song.
Yeah,
blow
so
up the song,
absolutely. Look here, Isaac, absolutely. This is how our community has grown. This is how we've met the guys that actually show up on our show. They've popped in and we said hello, or we popped into their lives, and it's been fun. We are inching closer and closer to that first tier. It's so funny, the last week and a half, it's like YouTube's just kind of been throwing a nickel or two, even though we were above the mark in all the analytics. I don't know what's taking them so long, but they're just trying to like penny pinch us a little bit, I guess. And again, we're not here to make any money, but it really would be cool if we could just suffice the fun hobby this is and hanging out with our people in the community. Listen, nobody should take us seriously. We are not classically trained video gamers. We're barely collectors or even we just a bunch of guys loving nostalgia and loving old times and reliving with the community. So with that being said, it's nice to hit those benchmarks. We're almost to the 3K tier. Wes Smith, welcome. Cherokee Girl, welcome. Did you get a blizzard? Well, I'm not a huge fan of Dairy Queen except for the blizzard, but I did get one because there's a snow day going on, and I don't like eating ice cream during the snow, and I'm sure that's what you really meant. Andy, you got more of a blizzard than I did. New Orleans with, 5 inches? That's crazy.
Well, they said the latest was New Orleans got like 9.5 inches in New Orleans. Wow. And Slidell averaged 6, but I mean, my house was probably about 8 inches of snow. Just today. There's still little remnants of it. Just today it started going away. So couple
Fox
days there.
is in the
It's more than
house.
I've ever
Zach,
seen.
he's back. So yeah, 15 people say hello. But before you guys head on out, we are going to get this show going. We appreciate everybody out there. We are breaking records as far as this thing goes. We have had the highest lives we've ever had. Bryce has almost hit 700. We had a vertical live for the snow. That was just crazy. We are getting more subscribers and more people. And we appreciate that because it says you kind of like what we're doing. And we've worked really hard. I've been going back. You guys go check it out. I've been going back to all the original content, Andy, and redoing every single description and thumbnail and title just so it stays on brand. And it's been fun to kind of relive some of those old ones. And you did a retro, a Rushmore rewind or whatever it was, reboot, and you went back and did them over. It's been reminding me I need to go back. Edwin's Video Games in the house. Look, one more time for all those new folks, this is for you, and we're going to get started. Don't get away. So last time I'm going to share this with you guys, Summit Squad. When you're on a part of the Summit Squad, that means you're a part of the team. I'm going to throw you a wrench as long as you're not a troll, and you can be a part of the moderator team, and you can watch out for all the trolls and tell them to get on out of here. You are now a part of the family, and all that means is as we go through our top four, you go through your top four. And last thing, our top four is not the GOATs or the greatest of all time. It's your favorite four, your top four, not what is on Billboard magazine or what any kind of talking head is talking about. Just the people that are having fun. We want you to give us your favorite four. So today, let's get into this, Andy, and we'll say hello to everybody. Don't go nowhere. Don't go nowhere. But today, we're talking about our top four favorite video game heroes. Let's do it. The Rushmore of heroes. All right. Well, it's time to welcome in our friend. We met him last year, actually 2 years ago in the winterish time, and loved the content he was doing. He jumped in with a group of friends that we like. They made a pact and did a group, and they're not a group no more, but I do love all those guys that are a part of that. It's just a video game creator. One of the things I loved about him was his content is real. He's a dad. He's gone through some sobriety and some addictions. That's kind of blended some of his content, and he's been looking really hard back at his video game collecting. My video game collecting is not extremely large. That's half of it right there because the other half is off the screen. I don't have a ton. This right here is our emulator that we do for Canon's page. Go follow Retro Canon. I'll put it in the group. He just hit 100 subscribers. Andy, you're almost about 110, but we don't collect a lot, but he's talking about addiction collecting. And he's just a really good dude, a dad, and loves to get out there and just make some waves in the video games. So let's welcome to the show, Andy. We're going to welcome Zach, or better known as Iowa Retro. I like to say gaming, but gamer dad. Welcome to the show, yeah. Zach.
How we doing?
Zach, I know this is the highlight of your year, although we're only 3 weeks in. I know that is the best part. That is one of the things white guys say. We just say things that are everybody knows. So
living the dream, right?
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about you, Zach. Tell us about your channel. Tell us about what is good in the video game world that you're looking at, and maybe a series or something you're doing. Let everybody know who you are.
All right. What is up, YouTube? That's how I like to start every one of my videos. But what is going on, YouTube? Iowa Retro Gamer Dad, aka Zach here. I am obviously by the name. I live in Iowa. I play retro games, and I'm a dad. So it's pretty, like he said, pretty easy to figure out. I have 3 boys. I have a first grader, a senior, and one that graduated last year. So there's a big hop between that. Some would say I am somewhat of a workaholic. I have 2 jobs. I do YouTube, and so I still have time to make every one of my kids' events and do all this other stuff and have all these fun little hobbies. As my main position, I am a process operator in an ethanol plant. So I have these strange hours, swing shifts and everything that goes on with that. So when I'm on my night rotations is when I do most of my YouTube stuff. I record and everything, and then I edit. And my channel started off as a basic pick 'em up retro game channel and building a collection because that's what I thought people wanted to see. I was following big YouTubers like Riggs, Metal Jesus Rocks, and all that stuff, and I thought in order to become huge on YouTube, you had to buy a bunch of games and you had to have the most epic collection ever. Well, about 3 or 4 years into it, I wasn't monetized. I wasn't getting anywhere. And then I finally just broke down and got up in front of everybody and started being real about stuff. I didn't fake a persona. I didn't fake nothing. I just kind of started getting natural and doing my thing. And ever since then, really took off. So most of my content recently has to do with kind of the mix between gaming, retro gaming, and mental health. I always say this in a lot of videos. By no means am I a doctor or have a license or anything like that. I'm just a dude that gets on in front of a camera and talks about his own experiences, my own, past experiences, how I got over them, and what I do every day to kind of battle that. And if you got a lot of times, if you guys, feel like what I'm talking about is kind of what you feel too, then you know what, maybe we're similar in that feature. But as I always tell everybody, don't, I'm not a doctor, so it's not Dr. Iowa Retro Gamer Dad, it's just Iowa Retro Gamer Dad. And some stuff coming up, you know what, I make some lists, I talk about that, but a lot of what I talk about is obviously just like I said, the mental health in the video games. It's a huge one. I do like to be real and talk to people about what it is also to make content and stuff on YouTube. And as though I don't like really calling out very many channels and stuff like that, but I do like to talk about some of the stuff that goes on behind the scenes, some of the stuff that could be considered fake and stuff like that, because I don't want people to think that just because, YouTube looks all glamorous that it's always perfect. It's always, the way it is. And that's kind of what I do. That's just kind of try to be real with people and, talk about my hobbies, what I'm passionate about. And that's about for stuff coming up. That's really what it is. And the other thing is I started a secondary channel for some more experimental videos to kind of keep this channel focused more on the gaming and the mental health and stuff. And then the other channel is going to be more like the actual like modern gaming and stuff like that.
Nice. Awesome. Well, it's always a pleasure to have you on, man.
In the chat. So Edwin and Mysticles, welcome back to the show. Fox, you guys all got wrenches. As long as you're okay, you can keep them. I will remove them, but I know you guys will be sweet. Dave is in the house. Let's go. It's important to talk about Dave. Dave is the father of Davey and Dave's Gaming Galaxy or Louisiana RetroCon, and that is in 2 weeks. We'll chat a little bit about that. And next week is Pelican. We'll talk a little bit about that. So that's at our halfway point, guys. Don't go nowhere because you're going to want to hear about that. There's some really cool guests. Like one of our guests that's coming up down the road is Pac-Man Case, and he's going to be there. So I'm excited. So let's get it going, man. So a couple things. One thing that I know is that we're not a gaming channel. We're not a retro gaming channel. We're not a gamer channel. And the reason I know that is because many of the guys that people always hate on out there in the space, I actually like. And it's not because I'm not out there judging. I don't really care what they do. I don't care if they. I don't care. I mean, if you want to make content that way. Now, if I was focused on gaming and that was my stream and I was making money off of it, I was monetized, I was this and that, I'd really focus hard probably on that. Hey, man, we got 26. By the way, the record is 33. Record of 33. Iowa, we might get 33. We might break the record of the live. So everybody hang around, even if you're not going to listen. Yeah. So what I know is that when I see those guys like you that talk about like fake gamers or crash on guys like the completionist and all that, I'm like, I don't really care. I pray for them. I love them. It's not my channel. That's what they want to do. Whatever. But our channel is here to have fun. And we're just really just reminiscing in our past, dude. Just kind of jumping in, bunch of 30s, 40-year-old guys usually. What's up? Hey, Derek, I watched Derek's message the other day.
Yeah.
Derek is a preacher,
Great
and I
word.
watched it on Faith, and it was a great message. 33, shout out to Larry Bird. Let's get to 34, which Shaq wore a couple times. So let's get to the diesel.
I was thinking that.
Do that. All right, so look, here's what we're gonna do. I just wanted to share that because sometimes I'm like in people's chat and people are like, "You like that guy?" Yeah, because I don't really like. I'm not gonna judge you on your content. I love your content, by the way, because I'm let me do the math in my head real quick. 2011. So this May, which is only in like 2 months, I'll be 14 years sober. Andy is about 3 or 4 years behind me. My wife is only about 3 months behind me. And so sobriety is a fantastic thing to me. And I love when you on the addiction side of the world. I'm awesome with that. Easy Gamer, welcome to the house. We're just getting started. Thanks for being here. Ricky Williams. I like that. I like that. That's a good pull. All right, so we're gonna get started. So Zach, you've been around a minute. You know how this goes. We're talking heroes. So by the way, last time he was on the show, he talked about villains. And tomorrow we're talking about characters. And we actually did a characters episode 2, which I just edited, which I have to go back and watch to make sure and see what I said and see if I'm revisiting. But I'm addicted to Mocha.
Moco Loco.
Okay.
Is that what you say? Moco Loco?
Well,
That's been fantastic.
I feel you there. So, Zach, you know how this goes.
Yep.
Criteria is important because so you're in Iowa, right? And so let's just
Yes, sir.
per se say you live in New York, right? James is in the house. We see you, buddy. DJ is here. You say you lived in New York, and I came up to you and I asked you who your top 4 favorite football players of all time was. You would potentially, tell me Lawrence Taylor, Phil Sims, Eli Manning, maybe Tiki Barber, maybe Saquon. You would not put. I would almost bet you would not put Tom Brady on that list. No matter if you're a Jets or a Giants fan, you just wouldn't do it. And that goes to deal with criteria. You might live in New York and you're from Boston. That changes it all. So your criteria is important, how you put the list together. When you start off today, just tell us your criteria with video games, what you were thinking when you picked your heroes. And then we start 4, 3, 2, 1. Number 4 being Rosie. You're up first. Let's hear it.
All right. So my criteria, I was trying. So I didn't want to do the typical, the big faces that everybody's gonna pick, and that's not necessarily because I wanted to be unique, different, and stuff like that. It was because those are all overused and everything like that. And to be honest, I've just been always growing up so a little different about that stuff. But one of my main thing is I've always kind of liked, I don't want to say the anti-hero, but the bad boy, cool
Like
heroes, stuff like that. So you're gonna see that a lot. I mean, you might see that with every one of mine, that it's kind of got that classic cool. Everybody thinks he might be a bad guy, but he's just a really cool guy, like hero. So yeah, that's kind of what I was kind of looking for. And when I thought about heroes, that's really what came to mind I was trying to find that. So I was looking at lists and I'm like, why am I looking at lists? And I just basically the first names that popped in my head. So.
That's cool. I do want to, before you start, talk about this because this is cool. And now we're covering your face up because it's so big. Easy Gamer says, I started watching Iowa due to him talking about addiction. Yep. A lot of people have problems not only with games. I just thought it was very intelligent for someone in the YouTube space to bring it up. Addiction, it can be almost anything. Hey, by the way, look at the number up here. Look at that.
32.
32.
2 more. 2 more, and we break the record, Iowa. 2 more.
Hey, we forgot to say this too. We forgot to say this real quick. We are Zach. What are we giving away tonight?
So
33. Just so we know.
So here I have. I used some credit card reward points and was able to get a digital code for a PlayStation Network card for $25.
All right.
So we're going to be giving that away, I think, sporadically throughout this series. We're going to have a wheel of names up. And then we will kind of just say what you guys' favorite. We're gonna say Sony franchise, whatever game that you want. It doesn't have to necessarily be a franchise itself. Just one of your favorite Sony games.
Let's do hashtag Sony, and then give us your favorite franchise.
Yep.
So we can look up the hashtag and find out who's in there. Make sure you subscribe and like this, and go and subscribe and like Iowa Retro Gamer Dad as well. 35. There it is. There's the record, ladies and gentlemen.
There you go.
Start yet.
Sky's the limit.
Fish in the house. Welcome to the show. We're throwing wrenches out today. So,
and then at the end, I will give the code to these guys, and they will find a way to get a hold of you guys to give it to you. But yeah, just my thanks for allowing me on the show, and just doing all this. It's just been so fun that, I just want to get back to these guys, and congratulations, dude. Sooner or later, you guys will be, that next tier. So it's great to see you guys working hard and keeping going with this. So it's my way of saying thank you too. And I always love being on the show. Like I said, last year was a really highlight for me. First real big podcast I was on, and I just had a blast. So
I love that you're saying we're the real big podcaster. You're like 5 times bigger than us. We love it. Listen, this is what I will say. And I heard this from someone not recent, but like some of the people we have on are much bigger stars than we are. And we appreciate that. We appreciate that to no end, that people would look back, because everybody started at one. And I will say that. And the second thing is, we actually have become friends with a lot of these people. Like, we talk in the chats, we talk in the DMs. It isn't just show up here. One thing that I hate is when someone shows up, or I request somebody to come visit and they never come back and say hello, and vice versa. Like, you come and show on my show, and I'm like, I don't need you until next year, Zach. I'm not going to come by your show.
Right.
I like to try and hit the bell. If I see it in the chat, if I see you in a live, I'm going to jump in. I'm going to say, hey-o, Iowa Retro Gamer fam. And that's just me. I'm that Andy's girl dad rad. We're going to be in those 2 chats. If you see us, we love you guys, because this community and this YouTube space is harder than most people think. And the big deal is the algorithm loves people that love you. And guess what? What I've learned is if I show the love back to others, they will come and reciprocate, and that helps us grow. And our last 2 years have been a year and a half, I should say, has been way bigger than the first 2.5 years. And that just goes by actually being real, like you said, and just saying, hey, we love you guys. Now, look, Andy put it down in the chat. Enter hashtag Sony and tell us your favorite Sony game to enter the contest. That will be
very
Sony and share.
I love that. So there it is. Look, this thing is hard, and I see you guys saying preach it. Listen, we are as real as it comes, and we don't hide our faith. We're not going to hide that we love Jesus. We're not going to hide that we love the community. We're not. And listen, I don't care what your past is. If you knew my past and Andy's past, and probably Zach's past, you would probably be like, bump this. These guys are a bunch of hypocrites. You're right. But we have moved on from that. If you went back and dug, you'd probably find a police report or 2. And that's just it. But you know what? Here's the deal. We're past that. Sobriety is an amazing feeling, as well as
God
walking with the Lord. And that is just my really quick rant, because all my new people here, so you know who we are. We're going to be real all the time. If you don't like that, we love you. We'll see you in your chat, though. Thanks for being here. Everybody down there now has a wrench. And yes, Bryce, God is great. And the thing is, we find people, let me share this. There are some people in our chats and our community that don't like each other. We don't care. We don't care. We don't care if you don't like so-and-so. We love you both. Just throwing that out there too. So with that being said, let's get this thing going. And you're up, Zach. Who is your top? So your criteria is fantastic. I love your criteria. Who's your Rosie or number 4? This is where you start the bottom of the mountain and work our way up. 32 friends, go hit the like right now. We love you guys.
Yep. So I just want to start off by, great things. That's God is good, and with His blessings every day I am sober. and I just like to keep going with that. But so when I was picking my number 4, there was a big kind of I've heard you guys talk about it. We've talked about too that getting the Ben Franklin's and the Rosie is sometimes a big fight, and it
Yes.
was these two were huge in this franchise, and it was coming down to these two, and like I said, I kind of went for the more cool guy because that's how I did, but originally was going to go with Chris Redfield, but I decided to swap it up and go with Leon Kennedy from Resident Evil series. I was first introduced to Leon Kennedy in Resident Evil 4. I originally did not play the older ones on the PlayStation because I was not a fan of the tank controls and I was more into RPGs. But ever since Resident Evil 4, and then I think again in Resident Evil 6, and I finally, when this remake came out, and I blasted through, and I just absolutely loved it. I loved how he just started off as this rookie cop that didn't know what the heck he was doing, and he just gets thrown into this crazy world with these zombies. And then by 4, he's just kind of like whatever, normal stuff. And then by 6, he's just just a total awesome dude. And then my Rosie, I had to go with Leon Kennedy.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. So I like these Resident Evil games. We talked about I think again, I'm not as well versed in these ones, but we've definitely talked about these a few times this month. I don't think it's necessarily shown up on anybody's top 4 in any of the topics, but it's definitely been in the discussion. I don't know much about these. I know the Kings of Leon, so I do know that, but that's about my.
Is that it? Grailbound Gaming. First off, welcome to the channel. Welcome to the Summit Squad. I'll throw you one of the Summit Squad things later. You've already got a wrench, but is that Leon is the goat or Leon is the dog? Either way, I love Leon. He is a great character. I love that you kind of threw out. See, you know who's been around long enough when they kind of throw out a pick without giving a pick? That's an easy way to get one in. And you threw out 2 there, and both of those are great because
it was literally right on the edge of both of them. Because I can't. Chris Redfield was the OG for the mansion on Resident Evil 1, and then he's just made throughout the years, especially in Village and stuff. It was just kind of like, but I've always just been like, when I watched even like the animations and everything and the videos and the movies and stuff, I just always was like, oh man, I love Leon.
So
it's just really.
I'll just throw this out there for you. I am not a late Resident Evil player. Like I haven't played any. I throw this out there. So Easy Gamer mentioned what's our biggest collections. I don't think I have a full collection on anything. Main reason is my collecting prowess kind of stopped at PS2, Wii, and Xbox 360, and then I picked up a Switch, and I've been playing a bunch of Switch with my kid. So like as far as like franchises, not really, and even like full of a console, not really. So all those late Resident Evils, the latest one I have is 4. And so you mentioned Village and stuff, but I do know a lot of the franchise. I know a lot of these characters, and when I was putting my list together, do have a few of these guys in the long list of Benjamins. So just saying, I've got a couple of them, which I don't know that I'll even hit to. But yeah.
If you get a chance, check out 7. 5 and 6 people kind of said drifted off. It went more action, but 7 kind of brought back that more horror like, and it was very.
My son is on a mission to get a PS5. If that happens, like he's working his way up. If he gets that, there are a lot of backlog games, whether I'm downloading them or going to buy them to catch up with some of these cool picks. But if that doesn't happen, I'm not going to get one because I know that's his thing. And if he gets it, it's going to be a huge prize for him. So, so I love that. I love that pick. Andy, you're up. You're up for number 2. Yeah. Retro Tiberon, I didn't even see you in the chat. My bad. Dude, I love following Retro Tiberon. Tiberon is like Spanish for shark, if you don't know. But hey,
baby shark.
Tiberon, he does a lot of late night streams. I go follow him quite a bit.
All right. So this is I'm I'm excited to get into this list. Now, when I was putting my list together, at least for my top 4, now Benjamin's can go all over the place. We can do that kind of stuff. I wanted to really kind of dive into the idea of it being a hero, right? I didn't want to just say, hey, top 4 main characters, which again, a lot of main characters are the heroes. But I said, no, what are some characteristics that really make a true hero, right? And I came up with 4. Again, there could be way more than 4 of these. Absolutely. There's so many more things that make it up. But these, I found 4 characteristics that make a hero. And then I said, what are some video game characters that exemplify these characteristics? All right. So I put a little thought into this. And my 4 categories that I came up with, it's ingenuity. You know, you got to think outside the box. Somebody who's just not just, you know, they're able to have that type of spirit. Ingenuity, loyalty, obviously courage, and selflessness. I think those are all 4 great characteristics of somebody who is a hero. So with that said, all 4 of my picks are going to exemplify one of those characteristics. All right. So that's my criteria. I'm going to start with my Rosie being my ingenuity. Who is my guy that can think outside the box? Who's the one who maybe actually looks like from an outsider's perspective, he doesn't look like he would necessarily be a hero. He maybe doesn't have the physical stature that a hero should have, or we would think would have.
Correct.
But it's because of the brain. It's because of all of these things that go on, and this ability to think outside the box that really makes him a great hero. Not the hero that we all wanted, but the hero that we all deserve. I'm starting off, and I actually got a prop to show off. Give me Banjo. I'm going to go Banjo from Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie. This is also a little nod. Just like to have fun with our friend Zach here. He was ragging on the N64 in a recent video. No. This is the only games that I have are actually these ones. And actually another really cool thing is I put this on a collector's thing, and maybe we can talk about this as a side. This is all side note. I'll talk about Hero in just a minute. I posted these pictures of these videos on a game collecting website one time, or Facebook. And I thought it was really cool when I bought it, and they had the property of Blockbuster Video sticker on the back. And apparently that's a big no-no if you're actually collecting. I don't care. I thought it kind of added to it. I like the nostalgia. But again, we're not big collectors.
I mean, if you're collecting for an investment, which I think that's probably frugal. Speaking of frugal, we got Zach the Frugal Gardener in the house. You like that? You like that? Zach the Frugal Gardener is in the house, and he's also with Zach's Collectibles. He collects things, probably not video games, but the way I like to collect games, I love when my name is on there from as a kid, and I love when the sticker's on there from when I bought it from Blockbuster. That gives me a sense of nostalgia, and I say, bump all you who think that price charting is the way.
Anyway, so Banjo's my guy. I'm gonna go with Banjo. Is obviously I'm gonna maybe potentially cheat here and have a tag team with Kazooie as well. But even if I just get Banjo, man, he is a great hero. He's a man of few words. In fact, he just makes grunts and sounds. But let me tell you what, this game is fantastic. And I see Kevin talking here. I do want to bring this up. He said, also after the recent Pokemon Snap shenanigans, surprised Andy didn't pick that. Pick Dot from Atari Adventure. This is only pick number 4, so just hold on, Kevin. Just hold on, Kevin. No, but this is Banjo. I mean, listen. Obviously, this is in one of my top 4 N64 games. I love this game so much. Rareware is they just put out fantastic games. But him as a hero, man. The reason, the ingenuity, right? He teams up with Kazooie, but they do things. They solve puzzles. They go around doing different things, different ways. They use different abilities. If you play Banjo-Tooie, then you got to use the right, eggs that you're launching at the right time. He's a true hero in the sense of, again, you look at him from an outsider's kind of perspective. He doesn't look like the guy that's necessarily going to get picked first in gym class, but at the end of the day, he gets the job done. So I'm going with Banjo for my first hero on my list.
Hey, look, just shout out to Easy. Look, here's my answer. Where's he at? Look, boom. Why is it not coming on board? There it is. Wander or Ico. Hey, look, here it is. There it is. Yep. So that's my quick pick for you. But yes, just quick another hello. Somebody that is in the chat, Bud Files, someone that stops in every single live to at least say hello. We love you, man. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a part of the community. Yeah, 64. You know how I feel about 64. It is not my favorite Nintendo console, and it's not because the games are terrible. The games are great. It's because I didn't really have it. I didn't really own it. I didn't really sit in it. I didn't really. That wasn't like something that's nostalgic for me. Going back to playing them now, as an older person, it's really hard sometimes.
Listen, and I'll say this too, and not to beat a dead horse because we've talked about this a lot, and I think this is a lot of people's beef with the N64 comes down to the controller. It just does. And
if aliens invaded and that was the first thing they found, they'd think we'd had 3 hands.
Yeah, no, and I totally understand that. Like my kids try to play. In fact, I tried to play Mario Kart with one of my daughters today or yesterday, and she just doesn't. It doesn't register. But when you grew up playing that and got used to that, like once you learn it and you sit with that for a while, is it the greatest controller? Absolutely not. But you can get over that fact. And once you get into it, the games that are on N64 are just some of the most iconic ones. And the graphics, again, Atari doesn't hold up today, but people still love it. It's not all about the PS5 is not going to hold up in 20 years.
What are you, an hour? I can't say the full verse, but yeah. No, nobody cares about the original Atari except for Barry and Zach. That's the only two that care about the original Atari. Yoda, you're here. Thanks for lurking, man. I know you're always lurking. We love you, man. Thanks for being here. So great pick, man. I know you love Banjo, and I wasn't sure that you were going to put them for heroes, but I do know this is a top game for you. So I'm excited about that. I guess it's my turn. This is my turn. So let me jump into my criteria. My criteria is simple. I love the games. And the biggest part of my criteria is that none of my characters originated outside of video games. Like you're not going to see a Ninja Turtle from me. Donatello's still the beast when it comes to the games. He's my favorite all time, but because he's a nerd. But you're not going to see characters like that from me today that are licensed from outside. All my characters are video games. And then all of these video games are my faves. So there you go. So these are from franchises I love. With that being said, if you've been here long enough, you probably asked at least 3 of them for sure. I have my top 4. So the one you might not guess, but you could if you dig further enough down, is my Rosie. And I'm going to start off with my Rosie. My Rosie originated back in the Nintendo days, but he did not blow up. He did not blow up until much later. And let me make sure I get my numbers right. So he started in 87 and it didn't really blow up until PlayStation grabbed a hold of him. And I'm going with my favorite version of that is this game, but I'm going with Solid Snake, Metal Gear Solid 2. I've got most of them, but the original Metal Gear was a Nintendo game, kind of Commando-ish. This is my original copy from back in the day. And Andy, I just wanted to throw that on there. Hashtag Sony. This is a good one. Hashtag Sony. But look, Andy, let me hashtag Sony it, right? And there's the Blockbuster.
There you go.
Look at that date on there, baby. April 3rd, 2002. It was in the funnel. So there is my Metal Gear Solid 2 game. And man, I love Solid Snake. I love the premise of this game, very much like Resident Evil. I do love Resident Evil, but we talked about first-person shooters, right? This is more of a third-person shooter. And I love the creeping in the shadows, kind of hiding, kind of a la Bond, right? Kind of taking some of those pieces, but I love like it added the noise elements and all that. But I love the story. These stories I got so immersed in. Part 3 is really amazing. Part 4 is amazing. I love the Snake Eater version. It's really good. But the Liberty Sons, I love. This is the Sons of Liberty, but the Liberty, what's the other one called? I don't know. It's right there. It's the white game right there. But anyways, love this game. Going with Solid Snake. Oh, he's also a playable character in Smash a couple times, right? Am I wrong?
Yeah, I believe so.
He was in one of those games. But yeah, there he is. Boom. Metal Gear Solid 2, Solid Snake.
All right. What do you think about Solid Snake, Zach?
Oh, I'm a huge fan. The lore in the Metal Gear Solid universe is literally you almost have to have a college degree in it because it's so. I've spent hours watching videos about it because each game's got there's clones, there's big mechs that can hold nuclear devices. There's just insane amount of lore to go behind it. And then, I remember having a PlayStation 1 demo disc with Metal Gear Solid on it, and you only get to play the one little mission. And I remember playing that mission over and over and over again and just laughing at it when I'd hide in a box and the guys would walk right past me, and then I'd just get up and then take them out. But absolutely loved it. I'm a big Metal Gear Solid fan. And I wanted to show this quick. We're talking about Blockbuster, but this is kind of so. For a while there, I thought about doing a collection of just rental stuff because I thought it was really cool. So I actually have a rental case right here that has an NES game in it, Solstice. The only reason I'm holding on to it is because of this. But that's so it's the nice little fun little clamshell. But this is what I was always looking for. So it comes from Video Update. Longview, I think Wisconsin or Wyoming or whatever I think that is. And it's just stuff like that blows me away because it reminds me when I was a kid, we had a Captain Video in the town over that I always rented games from. And just seeing stuff like this, like I really at one point thought about collecting just strictly stuff like that because it's so fun and nostalgia for me to see rental stuff.
Yeah. I saw a guy who converted his closet to a mini Blockbuster.
That would be really cool.
It was pretty cool. Kirk, what you got there? You look like you're showing something off.
Can you read it? Nah, but look.
Oh.
So there you go.
I never even played this. I mean,
there it is.
Wow.
Yeah.
My old writing is like a 12-year-old. So you can.
Hey, we got
right there.
Really cool. Like
Preachers in the house.
Yo, Kicking Preacher in the house. Jay Thompson. That's Voggs' internet dad. He loves the Cubbies. Welcome. Blocky Kids in the house. Elijah, welcome to the show. Oh, so Jay lives in Des Moines. Where you at, Iowa?
I'm on the northwest side, near a little ways from Sioux City and Spencer area. So about the northwest corner of the big tri-state area. We got South Dakota, Nebraska, and Iowa and Minnesota, all in this general vicinity, all within about an hour or so away. So it's I live right in a quad state area almost.
Nice.
So just for reference, I grabbed this one too. There's Metal Gear Solid 3, the Snake Eater one. This one's freaking crazy awesome. But yeah,
remaster's coming out this year.
Yes. But again, I don't have any of the newish stuff. I mean, is it coming out for Switch? Yeah. Maybe.
I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. I know for sure. I know for sure PS5, but I don't know. I don't know if he gets exclusives nowadays.
He's about halfway to a PS5 right now.
Yeah.
So hey, so type hashtag Sony and give us your favorite franchise or game from Sony, hashtag Sony, and you will get a chance to win a gift card, a PlayStation gift card today, courtesy of Zach from Iowa Retro Gamer Dad. So that's our first round. Thanks, guys, for being here. Oh, and I think everybody has a wrench in the chat. We have 31 likes in the chat. If you haven't done that yet, go and do that as we move in to our second round. You are up, Zach. We call him TJ Jazzy Jeff. It's third place. It's Thomas Jefferson. He's wanting to be 1 and 2, but he's not there. Where are you going to go at number 3 greatest hero if you were to etch this out on a mountain?
Oh man.
Sly
Okay,
Cooper.
so we were sitting here, hang on, I was sitting there at the end of the night at work because this is where it gets kind of crazy because you're looking at these and then you're like, sometimes you already pick out your George and you got that in mind, and then it's just the other guys that are kind of going back and forth. And I'm gonna say that this guy literally is gaming, books, got his Netflix show now, has cat eyes. So I had to go with the old Geralt of Riviera from The Witcher. Once again, just that cool man that rolls into town, goes to the tavern, hanging out. People come running in because of monsters attacking. They're giving everything they own to pay him off, and then he just goes out with a silver sword and regular sword and his strange magic and just slays the beast, runs back to town, throws it down, grabs the money, and just heads on to the next town. I really love everything to do with it. I am a big fan of the Netflix show, even though I'm kind of a little worried about the next season because I think they're bringing in somebody else because I'm a big Henry Cavill fan. But I always I loved the second game, and the third one really was just huge for me. And then that little teaser that they had for the next Witcher game, even though I think it's going to be focusing more on a new character, I'm still ecstatic about it. And like I said, I just love Geralt. Just loved it.
Yeah. So this is newer for me. I mean, I know who you're talking about because I've seen this stuff. All I'll say is, I guess he's a silver fox, right? And that
Yeah.
Look at that white dude. Looks. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. So I tried watching the show, and it's great. I watched a couple of episodes, but along with a few of these other things like Fallout and Last of Us, all these really cool video game shows that came out, I never played them, and I was kind of like lost in some of it. I can watch it, but me being kind of a completionist or kind of like wanting to know all the details, I spent a lot of time like researching who the characters were and what was going on in that first couple episodes, and then I missed so much. And it's just like my brain isn't there, my ADHD. I do want to sit down and watch all of these, but Witcher seems like a great game. But again, it's like Andy said, it's kind of in the further portions. I've watched plenty of gameplay. Kind of that's what the internet's for, in my opinion, is to watch these games that I can't play. So it's awesome. I do love it.
Yep, it's just a great series. And the Netflix show, I think it helps if you have a background in the gaming world to know kind of what's going on, because it is kind of like, if you don't know that there's like I didn't notice it at first too, but there's different timeline. There's 2 timelines going off during the show that interact later on, and it just kind of was just like, whoa, I didn't notice this till later. But it's it just if you ever get the chance, I haven't got around to reading the books, but I really want to.
Hey, I not to cut you off, but I like to cut you off because it's important. I just saw my bud, my Capitan, El Capitan, old poetic, Dead Poet Society. There you go. But Captain is in the chat. Alex Thine. He was my captain in Iraq when I was stationed out there. He was on a show last year, and he just messaged me and said, "Hey, I want to be back on." He's definitely coming back on. Music, movies, TV. You tell us, Alex, you're on for sure. He doesn't have a channel, but man, we love him. Steve Craig Retro Games, new to the channel. Kind of found him through a few other people, but welcome, man. Haven't done one of these in a second, and I'm not going to explain what it is, but welcome to the Summit.
Check out Blocky Kid.
I'm going to throw you a wrench. That's the only thing I'll share.
Blocky Kid does have a solid 4. He put up Leon Kennedy. There you guys are crushing more. Link, Cloud, and Fox McCloud. So a lot of clouds happening there. But yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that's some good picks. That's some good picks. Stay tuned. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been friends with Steve Craig since almost beginning my YouTube channel. So about 5, 6, 7 years now. It feels like I've known Steve forever on here.
Well, he already had a wrench, so he's been here before. Yeah. So welcome, buddy. That's probably from the last time you were here. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for being here, man. And we're actually on the second round, if you're just showing up, of our top 4 heroes. And Andy, you're up.
Yes. All right. So, Kirk, we're big fans of the Bible. Zach too, man of faith, and one of the heroes of the faith is the Apostle Paul, right? And what's interesting about the Apostle Paul, now he's not a video game character as far as I understand, but one of the most interesting parts about Paul is the redemption story, right? The fact that he was a totally different person, totally anti-Christian, was persecuting the church, and then he encountered God, and he had a turn around, and he became the chosen apostle to the Gentiles, right? Okay, I got to mix in some of our faith here with this as well, but follow me on this. One of the most important parts about this character that I'm about to pick for my heroes is that there's a giant redemption story in this guy's arc, right? In his whole and everything, right? Because it'll make sense in a minute.
Good.
But I think the trait that I would pick for him, obviously the redemption story is a big part of that, but the trait that I would pick for this guy is loyalty. This guy is a hero, must be loyal to his family, to his friends, to his loved ones, to his home, to his, all of those types of things. And there's not really many heroes that exemplify that. And this may be a shock that it's number 3 on my list for you, but I'm going to go Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong is going to be my TJ Jazzy Jeff. I'm going with DK. Look, here's the deal. Obviously, the redemption. The original Donkey Kong is the villain, right? He is, but there's a complete turnaround, and now he becomes the hero, protecting his jungle, protecting his family. Always, family bonds. He partners with Diddy. He partners with Dixie, with Cranky, with all of these guys. It's a family thing. There's a true bonded, loyalty. Rareware again, dude. I'm telling you what. If we were going to do that, I think Rareware would wind up on a Rushmore of video games there. But yeah, so I'm going with DK. All of those things. He's so loyal. And also, we're going to talk about just brute force, man. I mean, he's the guy that you look at him and he looks like he might be a villain. He looks like he can beat you up. He can do some bad to you, right? But he does it for the good. Sheer power and loyalty. Great redemption story. I'm going Donkey Kong for my TJ Jazzy Jeff.
Hey guys, dancing pecs.
Yes, yeah. And you look, you double up. I know we're not talking movies here. You get Seth Rogen as his voice. I mean, that's
I loved him in the Mario movie.
Yeah.
I didn't even bother writing Donkey Kong down in my chat because I knew he was a Benjamin for me, and I knew he was a top 4 for you. So that'd be great. I mean, one of my favorite characters to pick in Mario Kart as well as Smash. I usually like to try and pick the big guys like Bowser and him and stuff. But here's the deal. Donkey Kong really blew up in the 64 days, right? Like the Donkey Kong countries, the Donkey Kong Diddy Kongs, the racing, the Donkey Kong 4, 64, I mean, all that stuff. So, yeah, I see why he's so big in your lore, and that's a great pick, man. I'm down with it. I'm down.
Well, to be honest with you, for me, my love began at Game Boy. So, obviously, like SNES, right? Playing Donkey Kong Country and stuff, playing that Donkey Kong Land on the Game Boy, which we talked about a couple weeks ago with Bryce, and then continuing that into the 64 with the Mario Karts with the DK64s. And just, then I had a Wii and I played Donkey Kong Returns or whatever it was on the Wii. Was a super fun game. They don't ever put out a game that's not super fun. That's Donkey Kong. So, yeah, he had to be up there. He had to be up there for sure.
Did you have the bongos? You played Donkey Kongo?
I did have the bongos too. Yeah, of course we did. Right? Yeah, that. I almost bought. It was at the store the other day. It was this giant figure, Donkey Kong figure, but there was no price on it, and I was kind of shortchanged anyway. So
usually, if you gotta ask, you can't afford it, kind of thing.
Yeah, probably one of those things. So I was like, you know what? I'm here to buy
Yeah.
stuff for my kids.
So, Sean, you just missed it. Real life is in the house. Everybody, Sean is one of our buds, man. Go follow his show. We're going to be on Vintage Sport Flips, which is another one of his buds, tomorrow night. And Sean does some crazy stuff with retro, plays games online, which I think we're going to steal that. But like playing interactive games, we love all that stuff. So you missed it. He said it's a redemption story. He started as a villain, and now he's not. So I'm bananas for Donkey Kong. Yoda says, "Look at
Also
this. I've said it.
What a great
I said it
saying,
to
right?
screen, but my 4 is Dante, Link, Eve, and my favorite plumber, Mario." Yeah, there you go, man.
Also, without Donkey Kong, we wouldn't have this phrase. It's on like Donkey Kong. I mean, come on,
dude.
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah. And
How
what
many
does that
times do we
even
say
mean? And what does that even mean?
It's
You know,
on.
it's
It
like
rhymes. It's a forced rhyme, is all
it's,
it is.
it's
but
on like Donkey Kong. Like it's that thing. Like, this is it. What is it? Yeah, there you go. But hey, man, so I'm gonna jump in. I really wanted to put my number 3 at number 1. I really did, but I can't, mainly because this hero, although there's a big franchise, this guy is only in one game total. I mean, he's in a couple like remastered and a couple other things, but one main game. And to me, it's my favorite, one of my favorite franchises. 1997. He is hired to defeat Shinra with his Buster Sword. I am going with none other than Cloud. And Cloud Stride, there he is, man. Check him out right there on the cover. Final Fantasy VII. And to me, Final Fantasies, we've talked about it, Zach. Final Fantasy to me is the number one franchise in the RPG world. There's plenty of them. We've already had that actually with Pick and Preacher. And this to me was a game that literally put the sword in the ground and said, we're changing everything. We're changing everything. Everything we've known before, we're moving forward. So many games stole from this or, was inspired by this. And I love this character. The death of Aerith in that whole scene with him was just, I mean, I don't know that I've ever cried for a video game like that. Like I've never been like so emotionally attached in a story that I was so shocked. But I almost picked a couple characters in this game, to be honest. But I'm going to go with Cloud. I saw Blocky Kid had him in his chat. He's going to go number 3. I wanted him number 1, but really, this is the only main game he's been in. He's been in a couple other little things where they kind of like tag team with him, but he's never been really the star since this. So my TJ Jazzy Jeff, my number 3, Cloud.
All right.
All
I
right.
have nothing to say about this, so Zach, you're gonna have to talk.
Yeah, I could talk all day about this. That was I've done Christmas memories. I've talked about everything where I had one time had my PlayStation on for what felt like a month straight because I didn't have a memory card, and Final Fantasy VII was rolling in it the whole time. And I finally got a memory card for Christmas, and then I could keep playing the game onward. But I had turned into a huge nerd the minute I got a PS1 and I started playing games like this because there was like Breath of Fire and stuff like that. And I remember Cloud almost meets my criteria for this. He's the guy that comes in, starts off as the mercenary that everybody's kind of just like, and he's just like, whatever, man. And he just does stuff. And then by the end of it, he's taking up the group of people. He's leading them to victory against Sephiroth. And to go on what you did say, that was the first exact moment, the only moment I remember the very first time where I literally bawled my eyes out when Aerith was killed, and then afterwards you jump right into a boss battle with their music playing, and I'm still sitting there crying, trying to hit the attack button, and then I got killed, and then I had to relive it all over again because I had to go back to the save point, and you got to watch the whole cutscene again, and it was horrible.
So we had a short a couple days ago. We had a short not long ago on we're kind of drafting. We're experimenting on some different shorts, and I put Sephiroth in there, and there was a couple of people that joined in the chat and was like, I was undelete. I was unsubscribing if he didn't show up. We were talking about villains and stuff, or bosses.
Yeah,
That's what we were talking about, bosses. And
I think last year that was the
Fox,
struggle
Fox,
between
I see in the chat,
Kefka and
Fox, I think
Sephiroth.
we're going. Hey, Andy and I are talking. We're going to do music. One of his topics he wants to do is boss battles. Well, that might be the one, Fox, if you're still out there. And yeah, I kind of showing my hand right here. But yeah, right, yeah. Cloud, Grailbound Gaming, absolutely. Cloud is amazing. Andy doesn't know anything about this because he doesn't play any RPGs at all. 0 of them. Pokemon, that's it.
I do.
And
I play Pokemon. I play.
He played Quest 64.
Hey, wait.
Well, he
wait
bought
a
it.
minute. There it is, right there.
He bought it.
There it is.
That's his dinger. That's the.
Hey, I've walked around a little bit. Yeah. Can I tell you what? I hate it.
Oh,
so there's that. I mean, I don't.
My
like
local gas station had that game, some Winter Olympics game, and then I think it was Mischief Makers, and I always rented Mischief Makers because those 2 games were just not. But Mischief Makers was okay.
Yeah,
but yeah.
Let me just say this, Andy. If that is going to be what convinces you, you're never going to be convinced. Sorry.
No, I know I'll never be convinced.
So hold on. Real Life says, I just bought the toys separately for $1 each. Did I miss something? Maybe he said something else back
right here. He said it. They have
He-Man stuff.
At Sonic, they have He-Man and the Wacky Packs and other Mattel toys.
Nice. Yeah. Here's my 4 Rushmore: Master Chief, Mario, Leon Kennedy, and Sonic. Great picks all around. Hey, Chill. W, welcome to the show. I kind of mentioned you before. Good seeing you still hanging around the chat, lurking. But welcome. And let's get. So we're halfway. Right? So
yes, we are.
Guys, 25 in the chat. We will get right back to the show real quick. We just have a few things we want to share, and really, it's just promoting and helping our friends. So number one, our first friend that I would definitely want to talk about, Andy, is let's talk Pelican Games. Pelican Convention. I have it right here. Here's the Pelican Convention in Louisiana, in Denham Springs. This weekend, we are going to be hosts at the Pelican Convention, and we will be running around, and Andy is going to be preaching a Nerd in the Word, which is awesome. Look, we preach. We'd rather not preach on the outside, but on the inside, we want to be a part of everything. God said, Jesus said, not to be of the world, right? But it's okay. We're going to be in the world because everybody's in it, and so we're going to be in it, sharing our faith, just talking to people. If you guys aren't Christian, you understand how sometimes that gets a little cringy. We don't want to be the guy beating you over the head with the Bible. We want to just show you what real people look like. And so we're a part of a couple conventions, and Andy is going to be preaching on Marvel versus Capcom, if you can even put that together. But he's preaching on that. That's kind of the topic. And I think it's victory is at hand or something, right? Victory is
possible. Victory is possible
is the name of the message. We're going to be at Pelican this weekend. Don't miss it. Denham Springs, Corey's, not the Corey's from the 80s, not Hart, but not Corey Hart either. Not Feldman, not Haim, but Corey Daggerpot, Corey Bardsley. They lead that thing. It is an amazing time. But hold your horses, because next weekend after that, we're going to be at Louisiana RetroCon, and Dave Lusko was in the chat just a minute ago, and this is run by Davey Lusko, his son. I think this is probably the 5th or 6th one. There's the old poster. We have a few posters hanging around. We have the FNAF, the Five Nights at Freddy's, but this time it's Sonic themed, and he's got Sonic and Knuckles going to be there. Also, if you're a friend, Pac-Man Case is going to be on our show in a couple weeks. He's going to be there. Pick and Preacher, I think, might be there. But yeah, it's going to be a fun time, retro, and we're the MCs. We're going to be running around, getting film, videoing, interviewing people, shouting out everybody. There are a lot of cool things happening, and that's going to be in Gonzales in 2 weekends, Gonzales, Louisiana. And we'll be preaching a message on Sonic the Hedgehog in that one. Andy, you want to shout out our most favorite coffee in the world?
You know I do. You know I love coffee. And we actually have an official coffee of the Rushmore Show. So let us play our quick little commercial and plug for Village Coffee. Check it out.
Let's face it, at-home coffee can be pretty stale. Coffee at home doesn't have to be boring. The Village Coffee is here to deliver the flavor. The Village Coffee roasts coffee every week and sells online. Go to villagebeans.com to order your coffee today and use discount code Rushmore for free shipping.
There you go. You can order your coffee today over at villagebeans.com. Use that promo code to get free shipping. It is literally between the Holy Spirit and Village Coffee. It's my lifeblood. It really is. And my my kids and my life, my wife and stuff like that.
Alex, we love you, man. Message me. Music is on the table. That's in the next 2 weeks. Any of you guys want to be on music? Hit us up on Instagram. We're looking for guests for music. You get to pick the topic. Hit us in the Instagram. But look, we had some people talking about the FNAF. Here's Five Nights at Freddy's. That was their posters for those. And I actually preached a message, if you would believe, on Five Nights at Freddy's at that convention. And we actually interviewed, we had on our guest 2 of the guys in the movie. The guy, Christian, who was killed by Cupcake in the movie. And then we had Joseph, who was, no, I lied. Joseph, who was killed by Cupcake in the movie, and Christian, who was killed by Bonnie in the movie. They were both on our show last summer. And so for video game movies, go check that one out. That was fun. Alex, we love you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for saying goodbye. See you next Thursday. Hit me up in the chat. The last thing I want to share, Andy, is our best friends Culture Box. And I think we got a new friend that's joining us. We'll announce that when we get it with a new video. But up there over your head is the Culture Box. And Culture Box is a group of friends, 6 of us, six different groups. We're all Christian creators in the pop culture nerdy world. We just support each other. And we just love these guys so much. They support us. We support them. We meet on Sundays every once in a while in the afternoon to kind of pray with each other. We reach out every Friday for a check to see how everybody's doing. And just to talk about how we can improve our channels and our stuff. Not every one of them's on YouTube, but we do want to support these guys every bit we can. Andy, who should we shout out this week?
Let's check out our friends over at Cellcast.
Arkansas.
The Cellcast hosts Jacob and Drew review animated movies and TV shows, discussing what they appreciate about the medium in whatever form it takes, whether it's a traditional hand-drawn animated movie, claymation shorts, or a 3D CGI series. Check out some animated reviews when you subscribe to The Cellcast at thecellcast.podbean.com. And don't forget, Cell is spelled with a C and a single L at thecellcast.podbean.com.
Hey, look, before we get any further, I just want to shout out a new friend in the chat. Been following a lot of what he does, and you have a lot of his friends coming on. Matter of fact, this weekend, I think, no, not this weekend, 3 weekends from now, because it's like 2 weekends from, so it's the weekend after Louisiana RetroCon. Him and Retro Wolf are going to be booth buddies. I just saw it, and they're going to be together. Arkansas Picker runs a convention out in Arkansas, obviously. Arkansas Picker, if you're willing to have us, we might make that trip to come and hang out with you guys, to be a guest if you'd have us. We've been wanting to connect with you and a bunch of other people, but we have a ton of your friends coming on board. Thank you for finally showing up here in our chat. It is an honor Hey, Luna is in the house. That's Genesis. She's one of my students. Hello. But yeah, thank you. And Gadsden. I'm going to send you a wrench. We send everybody a wrench just to help keep the other trolls away. And that's just how that is effective for us. So we love you being here, and you're now a part of the Summit Squad. It's official.
Hey, Isaac just says, love how you guys tie the Bible into video games. It goes to show the stories from God can be interpreted in many ways to build his followers. I love it. Yeah, man, we love doing that stuff. In fact, if you watch, I just did a devotional message from Mufasa, the movie. You should go check that out.
Mufasa. Go check that out, guys. Help support that. We are so close. Listen, can I just say this before we get started? And Zach, you're up next with round 2, the second round, round 3, but number 2. Our main focus, Isaac and Arkansas Picker, Easy Gamers, all our new friends here. Thank you for being here. But both Andy and I are both school teachers, obviously dads, coaches, but we're both guys that were saved later in life as far as being in ministry. We both went into ministry. We're both youth pastors. And we started this page, or this kind of YouTube, to stay connected with us and our friends and other pastors and guys in the space. Saw that there's not a lot of that out there. Everybody in Culture Box is something of that. We met those guys. They welcomed us in. Our inspiration, Geek Devotions, is a part of that, Dallas and Celeste. And they welcomed us in. And what we saw was that there are people outside the conventions holding signs. And it's not just conventions. It's everywhere. Ball games, whatever. And we're like, listen, I was 30 plus before I was saved. And it was really hard for me to go, let me get rid of all this stuff. No, I've got to learn to live with it, because my kids are going to learn to live with it. I want to show the love of Christ, not like just be this off the wall, kind of like really legalist. But on top of that, I do know that there's some things I had to get rid of, because it was a thing that would bring me in places I didn't need to be. What I've learned is that this is a great escape for us. And Andy would agree. And our main focus is blowing up Reboot, which is down in the corner down there. And that is our ministry. It's called the Unconventional Ministry. We actually go in and preach. We have a Sunday service. And if they only have Saturday service, we'll preach then. But we go in, and a part of the programming, we do Nerd Church. We call it Nerd in the Word. And our ministry is Reboot. So thank you for shouting that out and supporting us. And go and follow it. If you like that, it's all on our homepage. Also, by the way, every single host that's ever been on our show is on our homepage. Go subscribe and follow them all if you like their content. So we love you guys. And man, I saw that. Thank you. This year will be 5 years. I love that. Ironically enough, church ministry name is Rebirth. Well, there you go. Reboot, Rebirth. It's kind of like a restart, right? So that's us. Reboot, the Unconventional Ministry, because it's unconventional. Nobody really talks about it. So we love that. God and gaming, that's what I'm all about. Hey, Poetic Gamer, I love that page you got, Finding God in Games. I know you're a part of that. Great group of people. I actually invited the guy who did the Devo on, but Thursday nights are hard for him. So yeah, appreciate that. So let's get into this though. Zach, you're up, and we're running down a dream, like, Tom Petty here. But what's your number 2? Now this is a softball pitch. His name's Link, right? His name's Link. But you can pick anybody you want. But this is an easy one, right? We'll see.
Well, first off, just want to say that me and my wife are scheduled to get baptized again coming up in May at our church that we watch online. Yep.
Listen.
The last year or so, my faith has shot through the roof. And
everybody in the chat, you know what Jesus said? We shout and we cheer for just one, right? Yeah, just one.
Praise God. That's amazing.
Yeah, praise.
We've been watching a church online that we loved. And so it was kind of more of we were always we didn't like the really kind of like strict strict, where you're talking. We were more of the laid back people. So we found a church that we loved called Embrace here nearby that we watch online every week. Well, they do every few months, they do a massive baptize. You come and you get signed up. So me and my wife and May are planning on going up and getting that done. And just like over the last year, my faith has grown insanely. It was kind of, God was always in the back when I sobered up, and I wasn't really there to believe it yet, but it was after I met my wife and stuff started going along that, you faked it. I faked it till I made it. And then one day it's just like, it was, they always mention the spiritual awakening, and it was just almost like I felt him there. And then we've just really been diving into it. It was kind of crazy. We went from not doing any praying to praying. I pray almost every night with my youngest son before we go to bed. And it's God is good.
Amen. See, that's amazing. I love to hear that. Love to hear it.
And now going into that, though, the bad part, now the most ironic thing about that is my next hero.
Comes along.
So I will say this right now. Nintendo was not picked at all during my hero. So that was kind of one of those ones that I was like, it's a little too easy for me to just pick. But to cue on with my Lincoln is Dante from Devil May Cry. I mean, it's just a little ironic because Devil's in the name. But if you guys all know Dante, it's exactly the opposite. His father Sparta was the slayer of evil. He was a demon himself, and then he fell in love with a human woman and had 2 boys, twins. And Dante just runs his. He's kind of like, I would say, like the demon slayer of like Geralt, but he just runs his. Runs his company, Devil May Cry, and I always loved this the cinematic way that he fights. The cut scenes and all the games were just absolutely choreographed, amazing. The first game was awesome. The second one, they kind of little too kind of brewy, kind of like he wasn't the cool and collected like he was. And then later on, I loved almost every game after that. And so much that I played the newest one a few years back, and just he's got kind of like this Woody Harrelson kind of look now, and I just absolutely love it. So I had to go with Dante because, like I said, it's one of those guys that I played the games and then I just dove into message boards. I dove into theories. I loved everything about this character, and I wanted to know everything about him.
All right. This is again. Sorry, let me get around to this here. There we go. You're picking all these ones, man, that I just have nothing to add to because
that's because you were just playing N64.
That's all I was doing, man. You know it. That's all. I mean, I was honestly 100% just a Nintendo junkie. I mean, I just was. I played PS2, so I had that for sure. But on the PS2, I was playing like Madden. You know what I mean? Like that was really that Tony Hawk, that kind of stuff. So I don't have anything to add on these ones other than, as you're saying them, I'm Googling them. So, I've heard of them, obviously.
There you go.
Heard of the games, but
this is just really cool. This was the essential fifth anniversary essential. It's got 1, 2, and 3 in it, and just I love this.
So this is so I'm on a not a quest, I guess. I'm not doing like a video series. Andy's kind of on a N64 quest. I'm on a PS2 quest. Now the libraries for me are just way too big. A couple reasons why I picked this. I have the emulator to play everything up to PS1, and my son's channel Retro Cannon, which I put in the chat earlier. I'll do it again. He just hit 100 subs. Go follow him. His whole channel is to play old games like that Zach and Barry would like. And for the very first time. So I bought that just to play the old games like Pac-Man, Donkey Kong, and it came with all those. And so since I already had all those, I was like, you know what? I'm going to collect PS2. It was my favorite system. It's cheaper. Most of the games that I want are not $700.
Yeah,
and there's a bunch of real gems out there that I haven't played. And at one of the conventions, I picked that up. And I don't know if you can see it. It's right there. $5. And I love a good price, $5 for a great game, man. And there it is. So I'm collecting PS2, but I don't get one every convention. If I don't see one that I want, one that I'm nostalgic for, or one that's like a great title I never had, I don't really care. I'm not just picking them up to pick them up. Kind of being strategic with a little bit. And honestly, I don't necessarily play every one of them. I saw your video the other day, Zach, but there are some that hopefully I'll get to eventually down the road because I never had a chance to. So I swallowed that one up, and I have played this one. Dante's a cool character. He's kind of like Blade, if you will. He's kind of the half man, half demon for the devil type thing, where Blade was like half man, half fire against his own kind,
and he's
kinda
slaying,
like
and slaying the
like
evil,
Hellboy, that kind of thing. But this is cool. I love this pick. Super Garbage Days will be on the show 1,000,000%. Super Garbage Days is a awesome retro channel. Super Garbage Days also has a cool beard, Andy. Listen, cool beard.
Some type of facial hair that is distinguishable to be on our
silver streak, silver. There he is. But and real life perspective right above you, Super Garbage Days. If y'all aren't friends, y'all need to be. Screech is in the house. Retro Card Collector will be on the show towards the end of next month with RNG Gamer. They're doing hardest games ever. That's a hard one to pick, by the way, but that's gonna be fun.
Hey, let me just entertain this question real quick. Our friend Real Life over there, Keith, he said, "What's the last PS2 game you played?" Now, I had PlayStation 2, and I had some games, but over time either got rid of them or lost them, whatever happened. But I remember in my college dorm, the one game that I had for the PS2 for the longest time before I just didn't have the PS2 anymore was Madden 2008. And when I see, without Googling it, who was the cover athlete for Madden 2008?
Madden 2008.
I was going to say Vic, but I think he was 2007.
He's earlier. He's earlier.
Yeah.
I think he's like 03, 04.
Was it my boy from the Browns?
No Browns. No Browns.
The running back from Arkansas.
This was a how do I put this? He was a sensation for a couple of years. He had a very iconic national championship appearance. I'll just say that. It was not a cowboy. It was not a cowboy either.
Oh,
Vince Young.
Vince Young.
Yeah,
Vince
that's
Kennedy,
what I was trying to think for some. Yep, I was trying to think.
Yeah,
for some reason.
Right there too.
Yeah,
Besides
some reason, McNabb was popping up, but it wasn't
McNabb.
McNabb.
Iconic national championship. It hit me.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Yeah, that year USC was picked to win that thing. I remember watching that with my buddies.
That might have been the
USC was
best
picked to
football
win in
game I've
Texas.
ever watched.
It was insane. We were all picking USC. Matt
Liner,
Liner, Reggie Bush.
That I didn't have a dog in the race.
Yeah,
because if you like a team, right, you those games are much more important. But that one I didn't really care about who won, whatever. Yeah. And man, was that an entertaining game. And we talk sports, guys, in September, October. But we'll talk sports all the time. We're big sports guys, so we love that as well. Yeah. Vince Young he had some mental issues. He bombed the Wonderlic test one, and then he had severe anxiety, and he had some severe he had a lot of mental things going on. And look, I don't blame him, man. I pray for guys like that because I've dealt with that.
He was on a great documentary that showcased that broke. I think it was a 30 for 30, or it was an ESPN documentary. Talks about athletes who blew all their money for various reasons. But yeah, this is it's an interesting career for sure. So, well,
they're like, we don't want to talk about football. They're running away.
Speaking of sports, Kirk, and I'll go back to this one. Moving to my pick here. It's not a sport. Again, you'll understand my segue in a minute. You played baseball, right?
Are you correct? Who I think you're going to pick? Okay,
no, I'm not going to do that. You played baseball, right? So as a hitter, right? What kind of pitch did you prefer? Well, did you just knew if the pitcher was throwing this location, this speed, this whatever? This is what I want.
I mean, if I'm sitting dead red, you throw me the fastball, I'm launching it.
Yeah, fastball, any specific location. I mean, just you just want that,
100%. If I can figure out where you're, if I know your tell and you throw a fasty, I'm sitting on it and we're going.
Yeah. Well, in softball, there's a term, or in life, there's a term when we talk about a softball pitch, right? And it's thrown your way because it's just too easy. We had to do it. My link is Link. I'm going there. I got to do it. Listen, but I mean, in all honesty, man,
you threw me a curveball because a screwball because I thought you were going to go with the little blue demon flying around everywhere talking about speed.
I wasn't going to do that. In fact, I'm trying to find.
I thought he was just going to go with, it's like the whole Pokemon Snap thing. He was going to stay a baseball bat from some game.
I was going to go Sammy Sosa from Triple Play. No, I wasn't going to do that. No, I went with Link. I mean, listen, honestly, there's not a. If we're going to say who are the greatest heroes in the history, and you're just going to Google this and you're going to find this, Link has got to be up there. I mean, you talk about courage. This dude is not big. He's a pipsqueak, right? But he's facing these giants. Ganon. I mean, nobody wants to face that guy. He's evil and he's terrifying. And then you put Ganon in the form of a pig, or you put Ganondorf. You got all these different versions. He's not the likely hero, but man, he is courageous. And he's just one of the most iconic ones. And yes, exactly, Derek. If you're going to say that didn't play into my decision at all, then you're lying. Obviously, the link. Anytime I can fit that in here, I'm going to put that as the link. Even times when maybe it doesn't necessarily work, we'll try to make that work. This guy, he is top dog. I wanted to put him at number 1, but it just made more sense. My tagline tonight is "It's dangerous to go alone. Take this." I mean, that should have given the hint away too a little bit there. But again, from video game wise, you talk about any of those. I mean, this just happens to be my favorite just for nostalgia, right? Ocarina, but I mean, Majora's Mask. I loved. What was the Wind Waker? I loved Wind Waker on GameCube. I thought that was a fantastic game. You talk about Breath of the Wild and all these newer ones. You go back to the OGs on the Super Nintendos and things like that. I mean, these are all classic games. But he is probably one of the greatest heroes of all time. If we're not even just talking just video games, he's got to be up there on the list. So Link is my Link, fitting enough.
Well, thank you for doing that, Justice. I appreciate that, dropping in a link for Link. Since we're talking about links, why don't everybody in the chat, if you've got a channel, drop your link. You all got wrenches. Drop your link in the chat right now so everybody can go and follow. I love, let me scroll in on mine real quick. I love the Zelda cartoon. Well, excuse me, princess. You know what I'm saying? So that's my little tagline today. But I love, that's a good pick, man. Link, and don't get it mistaken by calling him Zelda, right? No, we all did that forever. But great pick, man. I'm down with this. He is the pretty good.
There he is. I know Paul's not in here tonight, but Paul would have.
I was going to say that. Shout it out. Shout it out.
Zelda one more time.
That's good.
Yeah.
Is that like a mouse pad? What was that? Was that a mouse pad?
Great,
yeah, it was a free.
That's cool.
It was a free gift from, I think, Wish. It was Wish. I remember getting something from Wish. They're like, you get a free gift. I saw that. I'm like, I guess I'll pick this.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So Kevin says Majora's Mask. You couldn't get into it. You know,
I don't know. I like it. I think it's
a thing. It didn't have Ganon, weird moon. Yeah, it's a little different, but it still was a fun game. And again, that's a 64 game. I didn't really play them that much. I've actually played them on this, and they're okay. I actually watched a video the other day. It's this guy's channel, and he goes through every 3D Link in a week, and then he goes through every 2D Link in a week. It's crazy. So, yeah, it's pretty awesome. Good pick. And obviously, Zach, you love this.
Oh, yeah.
Is he paused? Oh, he was paused.
Nope, you're good. You're good.
Okay, I'm good now. Yeah, my internet connection I saw dipped off. I love Link. Like I said, I just was like, it was too easy for me to pick. But it was just kind of too, it's just like, like you could tell, obviously the Majora's Mask and everything. I even shared a post earlier talking about how was this game rated PG-13 or whatever, because Majora's Mask is so dark and everything that goes along with it. It was crazy and it was basically just a swap out of Ocarina of Time, same characters, same stuff. They just swapped everything out and changed the puzzles and added in that mechanic for timing. But anything. Ocarina was always my favorite growing up. I never got around to actually beating it yet. I've been trying here and there, but I always get to the water temple and I kind of trail off. But yeah, just not even that, just the original games, even the NES ones, and then even obviously with the new ones, the Breath of the Wilds, and yeah, Twilight Princess. It's just every single Zelda games that he comes out with, it's always just a different variation. And once again, I talk about, I'm crazy about lore, so I'll watch hours and hours of iceberg videos and the timeline. They had the encyclopedia somewhere down there.
Yeah.
The timeline is just crazy. It branches off from Ocarina of Time and it just goes nuts.
If I'm being honest, one of the things that most inspired me to do a YouTube channel was I went down a dark hole of, you just get caught in the wormhole sometimes. And I don't remember what it was. I was probably looking, I probably Googled something for a Zelda game. And then, the algorithm and things, it started showing me. And there was one that was just talking about the timeline and how it put the 3 different timelines and starts putting all these games together. And it's kind of fan fiction-ish mixed with lore. And they put it all, and it's like a 2.5 hour video. And I watched the whole darn thing.
There it is right there. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. I watched it more than once, watching all the different ones and how they have different links and different timelines and different whatever, and they all come together. And when I watched that, I was like, man, this is awesome. And it brought me to other people playing games and other people explaining games. And I got sucked in, man. And I was like, man, I love this. It's awesome. But yeah, the water temple doesn't have anything on the stone temple in Majora's Mask. So you're saying the water temple in Skyward Sword, I'm guessing, because that one's pretty crazy.
Ocarina, the water temple in Ocarina is just.
Oh, and Ocarina is too. Yeah.
But yeah, this is the Hyrule Historia, basically just a huge encyclopedia on everything Zelda related. And there is several pages alone that are just trying to give you kind of just a general idea of what the timeline is. Because like I said, after Ocarina, it splits off, I think, into 3 different ways. And yeah, it's just nuts. And then this thing's awesome. I remember getting this at a garage sale one time and just being blown away. And it's huge, man. And it's all colored and it's everything, almost everything you needed to know about Zelda was in this. It's so cool.
Yeah.
That's good, man. Andy, your turn, man.
Nope.
Who's number 2?
That was mine. It's your turn.
Oh, it's my turn. He was talking, so I was like, yeah. So your link. Great. So my link is not Link. Man, that's dumb pick. My link is a blue guy, right? I'm going with a blue guy.
Yeah. Go for it.
Yeah, but my blue guy doesn't run fast. He actually jumps kind of weird, and he's got some of the best Nintendo games of all time. I'm going with the Blue Bomber. I'm going with the original one. Boom. There's my autograph on it, the colored in triangle. This is what you do when you're 8 years old. You actually scribble all over it. There's the original copy. One of the hardest games ever. Might make my thing on down the road when I'm doing RNG, but it's not my favorite Mega Man of all time. Oh, look, dude, I even have the original. As a matter of fact, I probably have inside here a couple passwords from the game. Nope, I didn't write in this one, but I bet you if I get the Mega Man 2 and 3, there's a password written in the back of the book. But Mega Man. Man, I'm telling you, I love Mega Man. I love the Mega Man games. I love the Mega Man music. I love the idea of Mega Man. How you beat the enemy and you get his weapon and you use that to beat the next enemy. You kind of figure out whose enemy gets the fastest way. I love watching people play this game on a speed run. Part 2 is my favorite. I love 3, 4. I love the Mega Man X series. I even kind of enjoyed the Mega Man Legends. It was a little different than this kind of stretch. But I'm going Mega Man as my number stew on the mountain of the greatest hero. He's a boy. He's an android, kind of Astro Boy-ish, back in Japan. He's called Rockman. But as a kid, just side note, as a kid, I wanted to be a video game designer. Kevin's in the chat. I talked about this a lot with him. We were both gamers, at least like hardcore gamers in the early 90s, late 80s. We thought we were it. We were calling the hotline to Nintendo. We were collecting every magazine. I didn't have nearly the library that Kevin does. I used to love going to Kevin's house because his mom bought him every game he ever wanted in his life. It was amazing. And so I'd go to Kev's house. But one of my dreams was to be a video game designer. And my favorite 2 games to design were my last 2 I just picked. Final Fantasy, thinking of the weapons and the armors and making maps and whatever, which influences my book quite a bit. Which we got a shout out about our books, Andy. But that goes, we digress. And then on top of that, my other game to design was the next Mega Man. I'm always trying to come up with Blender Man and getting blades, and then Skateboard Man, and he's got like skateboards. And at like 8, 9, 10 years old, dude, just designing new robots for Wily was so much fun. I'm rambling, but my link 100% Mega Man.
Yeah, I had no doubt this was up there. I think for me, I love Mega Man games for sure. The 2 that always come to my, as far as what I played the most of, Mega Man 2 and Mega Man X are just, they're fantastic games. So I did watch not long ago, maybe a couple weeks ago, our friends over at Retro Rewind, Francisco was playing Mega Man 7. I forget which one he was playing. He was playing one of the Mega Mans, and he was doing that live. So it was cool to kind of reminisce and have that nostalgia of that. But I do want to point this out. Another pick for your boss battle music. The music in Mega Man is supreme.
It's amazing.
It's
That's stuck in my head forever.
Yeah.
Well, Kirk, you've been talking about we need to put together a Rushmore cookbook. We should put together a Rushmore compilation disc.
Actually, we should just put a Rushmore book together.
Yeah, we should do that. Well,
I think we should do a Kickstarter.
Speaking of that, if you ever get a time, the Mega Man thing that Angry Video Game Nerd does, he does kind of like that. Is now classic songs from Mega Man, and then he does that old school, when they would do the drop down, and then they would highlight certain ones, and it's just him. It's just him doing the noises, and it's pretty funny.
I know Angry Video Game Nerds like the OG. I've watched a couple of his stuff. I'm being honest. Sometimes I watch it and I'm just like, I turn it off. And because his whole shtick was that. And now I know he's different. He's kind of changed his channel. He's kind of hanging on. But sometimes I watch, I'm like, you don't have to be like that. And there's some people that love it. I love the content, but that content, watching him, has led me to other people that I like more. And so I love those. And some of those guys you mentioned earlier, which in the beginning I held at a high priority, and watching them now, it's kind of like, I'm not that I don't like them anymore. I'm just bored with them. So I've moved on. And I like it. I love the channels that are like sub 15,000, sub 20,000, and watching them get bigger. Yeah. I just love like a lot of those 1,000 to 3,000 guys, even under you, Iowa, seeing the struggle and what we've done and watching those showing up. I love watching those guys the most. So, and you can't watch everybody. There's only so much time. Throw that back up. What did I say? So I am a 3-time author of a series called Poetry for Thought. If you need a Christian publisher, I can help you out. Hey, Derek, Andy is writing. Well, I got to point this way. Andy is writing a Christian children's book that nobody cares about, but we do, right? And it's awesome. It's about a hiccuping hippopotamus, and it has a Christian theme. I am writing a book on every major fantasy trope you can think of, from Last Airbender, Lord of the Rings, Narnia, Final Fantasy, any fantasy, science fiction, whatever, Star Wars, and I blended it together in a children's book about my kids for my kids. So here's the deal. I'm writing it just for them, so I don't care. But I will need a publisher, and I would love for you to help me because it's going to have Christian themes. So that would be awesome, Derek. We'll talk more when you come on. So will Andy, I'm sure. So thank you. Hey,
Yeah.
so Mega Man, back to Meggy.
So that Mega Man 1's the one when he has the actual gun, right? That's the one where I think if you pull it, instead of having the iconic blue arm gun, he's actually holding he's got like a little pistol.
Let's see if I can get it to focus in here.
Well, let me slowly.
You can kind of see it a little bit. Yeah, he's like, it looks like he's holding like a real gun. That always made me laugh.
I love that. I love how not like that Mega Man actually looks.
I know. You look from then on, and the art all really changes. But in that one, really, it looks like some 10 years old kid drew that and kind of was like, yeah, this is what he looks like, and then they put it on there. But then he gets like the iconic blue gun in 2, the blaster and everything.
I'm so inspired.
Yeah. But yeah,
the manual
Mega
also
Man
says you can duck. Let's see. Kevin said manual says he can duck. Let me look.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Press down. Hold on. Press down so he crouches.
No way.
Yeah, that don't happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't happen.
What a weird.
I didn't even know that. See, Kevin needs to write a book on video game useless knowledge. He knows it all.
Trivial Pursuit video game.
Kevin would be a great video game YouTube, even if it was faceless, because he knows so much.
Those are the good ones. You just put knowledge up.
Get on there.
Yeah.
All right. So, George, number 1. Who's your number one, Zach? Let's get this.
All right. So this one's it's a Rushmore kind of. It's complicated. So
well, if it's a Rushmore here, let me get
So the reason that this is complicated is because I had to go with Solid Snake, Venom Snake, Big Boss, Naked Snake, Liquid Snake. So they're all genetic, clones, basically a Big Boss, who is my favorite of the snakes. He was the OG character in Snake Eater. Like I said, that's when the lore and stuff for me started becoming crazy. And this story is just absolutely nuts. How they had the OG Big Boss. They used him to make, Solid Snake and Liquid Snake, where Solid was the exact replica of him, and then they just basically made it so that they would grow faster because they didn't want soldiers that lived forever. And just like you said, just the whole cool nonchalant stuff like that. He rolls in, he just does his thing. Nobody sees him coming. He'll even have a cigarette, to see the motion sensor, so you'll puff that, and then all that, and then on and 3 is my absolute favorite. Like when I say that I'm super pumped for the remake to come out this year, I'm so nuts for it. Like I literally got the Metal Gear Solid collection last year. I played through Snake Eater start to finish on a pacifist run. I didn't kill anybody in the whole game, and I beat it that way, just using the stamina knockout stuff. And it was just to say that. And then of course, you can't do this without talking about Escape from New York and Escape from LA with Snake Plissken on that even. And I think Hideo even came out to say that the Snake character from Escape to New York was kind of inspiration for Snake himself. So I had to go with it. Like I said, my favorite is Big Boss. That's the OG Snake, but Solid Snake and Venom Snake and everything. I just loved the whole character.
Hey,
can I be honest? Can I be honest? I put Solid Snake. There were several picks for my Rosie, and I didn't, when you meet guys online, you kind of know what they like, you kind of know what they don't like. And I don't know, I just never came across you ever mentioning this. And so I was trying to pick somebody that I thought I could highlight in my top 4 that nobody else will get, just for variety, because there were so many I wanted in this spot. I'm excited that you gave this guy some love because it's good. I love that pick. Oh,
absolutely. Like I remember too the controversy when 2 came out, where you played the tanker level with Solid Snake, and then they switched it up and you played Raiden for the rest of the game. And I just remember people losing their freaking mind because it was just like everybody was so excited to play a Solid Snake, and then when Raiden came up, but he obviously redeemed himself later on in Metal Gear Solid 4 and Metal Gear Rising, where he comes back as a cool cyborg ninja like thing. But I remember at that point it was hard in the video game world because everybody was just talking about how much they hated Metal Gear Solid 2 because you didn't play as Solid Snake the whole game.
Yeah.
Yeah, Snake Eater Delta is going to be amazing.
Listen, I just want to shout out Papa real quick. Papa and Baby Bear been following this channel for a while. Dude, we follow so many channels, Andy. It's really hard to like keep up with everybody in the community. I love to follow folks, and then I set that bell sometimes, and sometimes I forget, and so I need to set the bell, which I think I have actually set the bell for the live when they came in the lives. But Papa Bear, you are well invited, you and Baby Bear, to come join on with me and Cannon. We'll probably see if that particular episode, Andy, if you bring on Zoe, and that would be awesome. We'd kind of have a 3-way deal. That's Girl Dad, and we'll do something in that they would love. So a children's world type thing, maybe in movies and TV, that might be fun. Maybe nostalgia. But their nostalgia right now is like when they were 6, though, or 2. But yeah, we'll have that for
Bluey
sure.
episodes.
Yeah, Bluey episode, which is don't hate on Bluey.
I love Bluey.
We're coming to the end of our mountains. Everybody, if you put hashtag Sony in the comments with your favorite Sony game, there's another Sony game mentioned. We will we'll spin for a winner that Zach is giving away on our channel, thanks to him, a PlayStation code for a gift card. And there it is. And so he's going to shoot it off to a lucky winner. Thanks for being here and hanging out with us, guys. We'll do that after the final George, which is mine. So, Andy, you're up.
Yeah. So, for my George, I mean, there was 0 ounce of thought, I think, that went into it. I'm going to go with the selflessness characteristic for a leader, or for a hero. This guy's the main character, but does not mind bringing his team along with him and, doing everything to rescue his loved one. And, I mean, we had to do it. Let's go with Mario. Mario is the George of, I mean, I don't think that it's very debatable that he would be the number one, the number one hero, video game hero. He is my favorite. Again, back in the day, playing the Super Mario Bros. Going back to my TJ Jazzy Jeff Donkey Kong and playing that game with Mario, right? Playing all the Mario Karts. Super Mario 64, every Mario that has come out along the way. The Mario movie was fantastic. The new one I'm talking about, the old one is, for nostalgia reasons is good.
Nostalgia reasons, it's perfect.
But it does not hold up, right? The cartoon or the TV show back in the day. Anyway, but all things Mario, man. I mean, for real, let's be honest. He's the face of video games. I would venture to say that when you think video games, it's like, think of iconic logos. You got McDonald's, you got Nike, you got all these ones that are iconic. Mario is just instantly recognizable. A kid can be born and somehow already know what Mario is. It's just that much a part of our culture, right? Mario's the guy. He's the number one hero. It's crazy. He's not even, when you talk about like, so I love Super Mario 2, right? On the NES, right? I love that game. Not many people, I mean, I say not many people. It's got mixed reviews, right?
I love it.
But
Doki Doki
Mario's,
Panic, baby.
say that again?
Doki Doki Panic.
Yeah. So Mario's not even the best character on there, and he's okay with that, right? I mean, you think about the Luigi, how he can, he can jump
Super
high,
jump.
but he can kind of
Don't
float a
say
little
Toad.
bit. Peach is probably my favorite one on there because of the floating, right? Honestly, to play with. Toad digs fast, which I guess is useful in that game. Mario's just kind of your overall standard. He's gonna be a B plus, A minus guy. Like he's not, but he is just so iconic that he's got to be the number one. He's the number one hero out there when it comes to video games. And like I said, it took no thought. It really took no thought.
Hey, I see 22 of you in here. Thank you for hanging out with us this whole time. Can you make sure you hit the like button of all things? That really helps us out tremendously. Andy, this was my number one Benjamin that was battling with Metal Gears with Solid Snake. I knew Mario. I gave him an homage here. I knew Mario was going to be mentioned today somewhere, especially in the chat. He is look, again, we're not going by the GOATs, right? But he is the GOAT, in my opinion. He is the Patrick Mahomes of video games, right? He is number one. And yeah, I knew that would get you. So anyways, had to get that in for today, just at least one time.
We
one
made
time,
it
one
almost
time.
2 hours and we got our first mention.
One time. Hey, look. So, but he is the GOAT, bro. Yeah, I'm surprised. Well, I'm surprised I didn't have him even knowing my list, and I'm surprised Zach didn't have him. But everybody should have him. He's awesome, bro. And everybody loved Nintendo. Like, there you go. Bill's going to be that might actually happen there, Barry. Then you're going to sidetrack this whole conversation. But
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah. But you might actually be right. I'm okay with that as long as the Eagles don't win. I mean, we've made 7 in a row. 7. Not 6 little squirrels swinging on a branch. 7 7-minute abs. Yeah, 7 AFC. Anyways, Mario Mac, that's a good pick, Papa. That's a good pick. The one thing I would say is we are not picking any. Well, I'm not picking any characters that weren't original video game guys, right? And Mac, obviously, as long as you don't say Mike, Mac is a good pick. All right, well, I'm up, right? Am I up?
Yes,
yeah, I'm up.
Yep.
I'm up. I mean, I'm sorry, Derek, but he's not the Link because he is Link. Bro, I mean, to me, it's the best franchise out there. The Final Fantasy, Zelda, then there's the rest. Mega Man's right behind it. Mario's right behind it. We've done franchises. Go see that. I actually just edited the thumbnail for it just a little while ago. But here's the 2 newest iterations and probably my 2 favorites, surpassing several good ones. Link to the Past, the original Zelda. I like Zelda too. It's one of those hard games. Skyward Sword, Ocarina, Majora's. I haven't played all the little smaller ones like Seasons, but I do love. I love Four Swords. I love the Minish Cap. I love, dude. There's so many. Link's Awakening. I'm playing that right now on the Switch as well. The redone. I am sunk into this game. Let me tell you something. I've been playing this game. I bought it when it came out. Didn't play when it first started. It sat on my shelf for a little bit because of because of school, and I'm doing my master's. And then I pulled it off on I think Thanksgiving break this year, maybe Halloween. I don't know. Pulled it out and I've played it like every night for like at least an hour since then, and I am one of those guys that literally, like he says, literally playing Ocarina right now. I literally want to find everything. One of the reasons I did like Gerard and the completionist in the beginning was I am such a completionist when it comes to these games. I want to find every sword. I want to find every seed, which is like impossible. Every shrine, which is like impossible. I mean, it's not impossible. People are doing it all over, but for me, it's like I get like in this open world. I'll play for an hour and get nothing done. Just killing enemies, learning new ways to battle a moblin, or see if I'll go and try and defeat a Lionel and see if it worked and figure out new ways to combat that. Best when you talk about hero trope, here it is, man. He is the hero of all when it comes to video games for me. My George is Link, which that's happened like 3 times. Like I didn't pick him for Link, but I picked him for George. So if you go back and check, so that's my number one.
Hey,
George.
two things I'm gonna bring up real quick. Number one, you can't escape with just putting this in the comments real quick. Hold on, give me 2 seconds. You're gonna get the screen, and you're gonna get the. Let's tell them. I like the take.
Oh, so growing up, we didn't have the original Zelda. So I was born in '87. So by the time I got around to gaming, it was more. My memory wise, it was more like 90, 91, where I was kind of like remembering my first glimpses, and I always remembered playing my uncle. He had the gold cart for Zelda 2. And I remember just being like, even though I didn't really know what I was doing, I was just having a blast playing it. And the music to me, like you want to listen to something and it brings you right back to when you're a little kid again. Just that beginning tune, and then like right when you start off, every time you die or whatever, and you come back, you're just right in that one area, and then Zelda's like sleeping or whatever, and then you jet off again. It was just something about it was just like. Sequels at the time would always go into insane directions. A lot of people talk about Castlevania 1 and 2, how it dramatically changed and people hated it. And Zelda 2 was one of those ones where people were like, I hate this. It's so cryptic. I don't understand it. And look, you mentioned the Mario movie earlier about don't talk about the ones from, the earlier ones with, yeah. And it's nostalgia for me. I don't think I played the original Zelda till way later on in life, so it wasn't as fun and collected as me. So I think that might be kind of what it is. But like I remember when Switch had the NES Classics came up and Zelda 2 was on there right off the bat, and I just remember getting into it again and playing it pretty much all the way through. And yeah, it's just one of those things that was like nostalgia wise. 2 has just always been like, and it's a lot of the music and the sound effects. But I just love the puzzles. I love the area. And then, like, once you kind of know what you're doing, it's way better than, when you're just wandering for a while. And a lot of people say that about Zelda 1, too. But just Zelda 2 is just, and that classic gold cart.
Yeah. I think that I don't know if I'd be willing to jump and say that it's better, but I do like how they mix it up with like the platformer / overhead like that.
Hey, I love what Fox said here.
Level up. It was weird.
They've been remaking a lot of games, even a couple Zelda games. I would love a Zelda 2 remastered. One of the things I don't like about Zelda 2 is some of the enemies are just awfully hard, and they're supposed to be just basic. I mean, like, you're early in the game, you got to stab this thing like 7,000 times, right? Early in the game. Yeah. What I would like to see is, there kind of be a ramp up, which made the game fun. I enjoyed the whole game. And another thing is, in 1988 or 89, whenever that one came out, I think 87 was the first. That was like 89, 90, whatever.
Something like that.
Unless you had Nintendo Power, right? You did not know how to get through this game because there was no internet, right? And like finding the secret city and reading because every towns guy says the same dang thing. It's like, where do you find it? You kind of get overwhelmed with that. But when you had Nintendo Power, you pull out that map, the centerfold map, right? And you figure it out. Oh, I lost it for a second. Really good, expanded a lot. There is a homebrew Zelda 2 that someone made on PC a couple years back. Of
That'd be
course, Kevin's
interesting to
got
see.
it. Kevin knows where it's at. Hey, well, look, that is our top 4. I do want to say hello to PNX. They popped in here earlier just to say hello. Said the toddler was sleeping. It's way back here, way back here. There it is. Hey, peeps. Sorry, we're a little late. Man, y'all are never late. Listen, you'll never offend us by not being here. You will offend us if you stop coming. But just kidding. Really, we love you guys. Congratulations on 300 subscribers. Everybody, right now, 20 in the chat. If you haven't already, go sub to PNX. Let's get them over 1,000. They deserve it. They deserve it. They're a video game channel, a couple video game channel. They go to conventions and stuff. Everybody. Oh, by the way, since you're out there, Christina's dropping it in. Christina, welcome. Hadn't seen you either. Christina's a great person. She loves to
Thank you,
throw in
Christina.
everybody. Hashtag throw in your channel down below so everybody can go follow you. Thank you, Christina, for doing that. Hey, we're at the end of the show. This is where we play a quick, fun game before we head out. We just broke the 2-hour mark, which is cool. We're going to play what we... Yeah?
Hey,
you want to give away the thing?
You want to do the spin the wheel now?
Hey, let's do that. So, everybody, right now, hashtag Sony, if you haven't already, hashtag Sony with your favorite Sony game. Let's make sure Andy has everybody in the list. Andy, are you going to pull up?
So far, but if
Andy, do you have a spinner to do?
I do. I already have it put together. So I'm just going to try. I'm going to present my screen.
Hashtag favorite game, and what we're going to do is listen. We didn't even ask Zach to do this. Zach's amazing. He's a great part of the community, great part of the video game community. He wanted to just help us and show the love to all the people in the community. And he's giving a gift card away live right here. And anybody who puts hashtag Sony in your favorite game, we're going to spin the wheel. If you win, Instagram is probably the best way that we'll shoot it over to you. Just we'll figure out a way to get that code on over to you. And congratulations. So Manny's in the house. Yeah, Manny is going to be on the show in a few weeks. Is it next week or the week after? I think it's next week with Saturn Steve. And they're doing Genesis games. Yes. So I think it's next week. Is it right?
Genesis does, but Nintendo don't.
Poetically Christian Gamers in 2 weeks, I think, with Jag. So that's going to be awesome. Yeah, Infamous. Good game. Good pick. Wes. No modern Sony consoles. Good luck, everyone. I got it. So here we go.
You guys see it?
Everybody in. Let's make sure we count everybody off. See how it's in.
I got everybody that's gone so far. The last one I got was PNX World, just added. So I think I got everybody who is there.
Right. That's what I thought, Manny. Next Thursday. We switched a few, and I knew. Yeah. Perfect. All right. Well, let's count her down. 4, 3, 2. George. Go.
Here we go. Here's the spin. The winner. Retro
Baby Shark.
Baby Shark. Do. All right. Well, Retro
That's
Tyron,
awesome.
I don't know if he's still in the chat, but I love that guy. Go follow his channel. He does a lot of late night streams, a lot of first person shooter, a lot of fun stuff over there on his channel. Retro Tyron.
Let's say this makes it so much easier because I could just I'm really great friends with him. I already got him on Instagram, so that it's really easy to get it to him. So I don't have to worry about anybody trying to scam a giveaway on that one. So we can get that figured out. That's awesome that he wanted. And I just want to say that thank you so much for everybody that showed up tonight, especially from my channel and stuff. Yeah. It was great to see everybody here, and of course always see your guys' crowd that comes here. I always meet new people every time.
You guys.
Yeah.
We love everybody here. Our channel has just been so blessed by the community. Thank you. And look, this isn't the last time you're going to be on our show, and we'd love to be on your show, especially on an addictions topic. We would love to come on and chat that up. So
that's something someday I want to try to do is kind of get my podcast going again, Retro Therapy, and kind of get it going on a little bit more with that. I would love to come on for that and just chat it up. We definitely need to get going on something too with movies. I think we can get a movies going down the road. I'm a big 80s movie fan.
Hey, so let's just throw that out there. We have movies. Let's see, March, April, May, and June. We haven't nailed everybody out yet, but if you want to be on the show, we can have you come back on.
We'll figure something out.
And anybody out there that wants to be on the show, PNX, Christina, Fox, already going to be there. Grailbound, you're new here, but hey, come on to the show. Hey, Grailbound, don't go nowhere yet. We're not done. Isaac, we're not done. You're welcome. You're welcome. We're not done. We're not done. We're not done. Our second part of the show, let's get this going. And we're going to finish it up, but this is our honorable mentions. We're going to draft what's left, and we call it All About the Benjamins. Don't go nowhere. I know. Everybody probably should take that off, but I just can't. It's just part of the show now, and yeah, whatever. It's whatever. It's whatever. But we're gonna do All About the Benjamins now. Here, Benjamins. We call it the Benjamins because of Benjamin Franklin. And when I was digging out and trying to figure out what we were gonna do, we kind of found out that Benjamin may have been a fifth guy on the mountain, which means he was an honorable mention that didn't make it. And so we're going to talk about what didn't make the mountain today. And here's the thing. We cannot mention any hero that's already been mentioned, and we can't mention anybody's hero going forward. So it's kind of like a draft. So you're in your war room. You kind of know what I like. You kind of know what Andy likes, Zach. So you're going to want to take some of the guys that are big heavy hitters that haven't been picked yet before we snatch them up, because you're going first. Andy's second, I'm third, but here's the big deal. In the second round, we go backwards. Third round, regular. Fourth round, backwards. Again, snake draft, like a fantasy draft. And you've got the last pick. You've got Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant. And you got number one, which the Titans got this year, and they're looking about trading it. You want to trade your pick? You want to trade your pick for a pick to be named later? Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. This draft this year is going to be crazy. That's for sure.
All right, so here we go. Your top. This is our four heroes that haven't been mentioned.
Yep.
You're up first.
So we literally mentioned it in the first one. It was almost a tie between him and Leon. So I had to go with Chris Redfield. Like I said, just the iconic. And Chris Redfield, I definitely had to go with him because it was just so iconic, and Resident Evil wouldn't be the way it was today, and even the goofy stuff like the boulder punching on Resident Evil 5 to try and knock it down in the lava pit. I had to go with Chris Redfield.
Yeah, I had him in my Benjamins. That's the one. What's the main one I was talking about when you said Leon? Great pick. All right, great pick. Who's next?
Yeah.
Andy, who's next?
In keeping with my trend of the night, I'm not venturing from the console. Fox McCloud from Star Fox. Got to go.
Nice.
Yep.
So you left some goats out there. Y'all both left some goats out there.
There's some.
All right, so I'm going to take low-hanging fruit here. I'm going to take low-hanging fruit. I'm going with Master Chief with Halo, and I'm going to go with Sonic the Hedgehog.
Very good.
The other blue bomber. So Sonic,
the blue blur,
and Master Chief, can't go wrong there. Man,
those are solid.
Dude, when this poll goes out, these Benjamins might win it for you guys. Here we go. Let's go.
I'm just saying, I predict, and I know I'm biased, but I'm predicting that my picks are going to go. I had Mario on there. I mean, come on.
Yeah, you had Mario.
But anyway, my next one, I'm going to go Metroid. Give me Samus. I got to go with Samus.
Samus. Finally get a female, a heroine.
Yeah, a heroine. So there you go. Samus is gonna be my next pick for Benjamins.
Good pick. I had her next. Well, yeah, within the next 5.
It's in the list. Yeah.
You get 2 picks now. The last
2 picks.
Of the second
Okay.
round, the first of the third.
So we mentioned it a little bit ago in the chat. I saw somebody pull it up, and then they asked about the Xbox mascot, and I had to go with Marcus Phoenix from Gears of War. I was a huge fan of the Gears of War. The Lancer is still. The Lancer is still one of my favorite weapons with the chainsaw on the end and just grinding through the horde. Absolutely amazing. And then I had to go with the Dragonborn from Skyrim. Just a no-name guy that one day sucks in the soul of a dragon and then just goes on to Yeah, unnamed Dragonborn. Yeah, from Skyrim. That was one of my favorite heroes. He was one of another one that was almost on the mountain because it was just I
Wow.
countless hours into Skyrim.
Yeah.
See, this is why we do the Rushmore Show, because it's your favorites. There are so many goats out there, guys, that are still available. Come on, man. Come on. Andy, who you got?
Next one, I'm going off. This is just we haven't even talked about him yet, so I'm glad this one fell down here. Give me Kirby from Kirby's Dream Land. Kirby is just he's a great pull, late pick. So,
Man, you are making this hard for me. I was hoping some of these guys were gone. Gosh, they're still available. All right, so this next one's low-hanging fruit. I was almost picking it last round because I thought Master Chief or Sonic or both would have been gone. So this first one's easy. It was mentioned in the chat by, I think, you, Andy. I'm going with God of War, going with Kratos.
Kratos.
Yes, Kratos. And, yeah, that's – talk about PS games. Love that. And, man. I want all these guys. All right, I'm going to go with we had him on the channel not long ago, the Mad Belmont. I'm going with Simon Belmont, Castlevania series for my next one. And look, I'm just going to throw this out there. I loved Captain in the Game Master, and I pulled off Mega Man, and I pulled off Simon. That's two good picks, man. And go ahead right there. Boom. So, Andy, you're up.
All right, last pick. This is fun. Man, I really didn't venture too far away from it other than with my Samus pick, and I'm staying in 64. James Bond. I know this goes a little off of your criteria, talking about this guy was not necessarily a character just for the video game, but he is definitely the hero of this video game. So I'm going to go with James Bond. I've got a solid 4 that'll help me out in Benjamin's too. I love my roster.
Yeah. Speaking of that, everybody in the chat on our Instagram, we're going to have our picture probably tomorrow of everybody's votes, everybody's picks. There is a poll. Vote for the poll. See who wins. Last week, Andy came in second. Retro Rob won the last week, and I came in third, mainly because I picked some. I ended up picking Thief. That was, I think, what killed me because it was the most underrated game out of all of them. And y'all picked some more mainstream. So this week we're talking heroes. There's going to be a poll. Vote for the poll. See which one of us won on our Instagram, on the YouTube page. Finish us off with our last pick of the night. Before we tell everybody good night, tell everybody good dude, tell them where we can find them. Vintage Sport Flips, we're going to see you guys tomorrow night. Everybody go follow this channel right now. He's got a wrench. Hey, Keith, put in your channel right now. Everybody go follow this channel. We're going to be on there tomorrow night. And it's a real draft, and we're drafting video game characters, ironically, everybody. So it could be heroes, could be villains, could be NPCs, whatever. We're drafting greatest characters of all time. Finish us off, Zach, and tell everybody who the best hero is.
Oh my gosh! So I created the list, and I'm looking at this list, and it's down to literally like I can't. It's one of those ones that I can't decide. So I'll have to just do. Started off normal guy, became a monk, became a god, and then changed the timeline completely. I had to go with Liu Kang from Mortal Kombat.
Great.
And it was just like I said, it was just like we talked about redemption, we talked about everything, how he was cursed, he was a monk, he beat every time he beat somebody else has to come up and rise up, and then he'd still, he's like the Goku of fighting games. He just keeps coming back, and just the iconic as a kid. Even like we talked about music earlier, I still have 4 CDs in my pickup, and one of them is the Mortal Kombat soundtrack, because it still just gets me hype, especially for the gym. Then just that, that just playing the game and all the time, and it's just and then the bicycle, yeah. And it was just absolutely. And even like I said, some people don't like the movies. I love the movies. I love the games, and that was just, oh man, it was just Liu Kang is so iconic
thanks
for being a
shouting
hero.
out the movies. Everybody, go back. Hey, thanks for shouting out the movie. Go back. Last summer, we had Five Nights at Freddy's on for video game movies, and Mortal Kombat, and I think Mortal Kombat 2 actually make somebody's mountain. Somebody.
I don't mind Mortal Kombat 2.
And I think Street Fighter makes Andy. Hey, let me just say this. I'm surprised this is the first fighting game guy out.
Yeah.
But my problem with Mortal Kombat is I like the bad guys.
Well,
See,
do you count Zelda and Mario because of Super Smash?
Yeah. See, so Ken and Ryu are right next to this one. Was what
Ryu was on my list. I'm a Ryu guy. I hardly ever played with Ken, but I get it.
Yep.
And he was on my list, and Blanca was on my list too. Which is a fun fact. Our the Rushmore font down below where it says Rushmore, the Rushmore font is called Blanca. Yeah, I almost picked Blanca too. But there's a bunch of fighting games. I never really played with.
Oh yeah.
I played with Liu Kang, but Scorpion and Sub-Zero are my guys.
And once again, I am horrible at fighting games, but me being the lore junkie that I am, I just loved I didn't play any of the modern Mortal Kombats. I watched people's videos of them just cutting to the cut scene so I could follow the story because I just love the story so much. And then people always give me heck about, well, who's your mains for fighting games? I'm like, I don't really play fighting games, but I always love the story behind them because it's just interesting to me, especially the Mortal Kombat one, and especially as far as it's gone nowadays. It's like, what do you even do? And the movie a few years ago, I absolutely loved. And yeah, it's just Liu Kang's
a Mortal Kombat draft would be fun too.
That would be interesting.
Cabal would be up.
Mortal Kombat. How about just fighting game draft? That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a fighting game character draft. We'll do that.
Yep. Jax was one of my favorite with the metal arms.
Oh yeah.
Oh gosh. And I love Baraka.
Yep.
My favorite guy though is Cabal. That running across the screen and spinning him like a top.
Yeah.
Dude, I love that. So let's bring it all home. 19 guys in the chat. Man, we had 20 plus over the chat, probably 90% of today. That is by far going to be a record. I just know it. Bryce had the record. We have 42 likes now. 42 likes. We had 35 highest ever. Look, I'm shouting those things out, not because it's not this. It's you guys. Thank you for being here. We love you guys. Thank you for meeting us. One last time for all our new friends in the chat. This is for you. We love you. As of this morning, we were about 100 hour in the first tier, which is funny because before the show last week in the big analytics, we were 100 over. We were at 3,100 hours, and YouTube is just milking that thing until we get there. But when that happens, what's really cool, hey, Waving Games, thank you for being here. But one thing that it's going to do is we do have some merch, and we'll have that merch online. We have probably about 20 shirts. A lot of them are retro. They're fun. But we'll have that. And then obviously, here's the deal. We go to conventions, mostly in Louisiana right now, hopefully in Georgia. We'd love to go to any conventions. Grail Brown, I saw you have a convention. That's amazing. If you'd love to have us, we'd love to be a part. And obviously, Arkansas Picker was here just a minute ago. He has a big one. There's some that we're going to do. Andy and I would love to come and be a part of those things. And it does cost a little bit of money. And honestly, StreamYard is not cheap. Doing the things that we do, it's not cheap. We'd love to give more giveaways away. We're not trying to retire as YouTubers. It would be cool, but we'd still be pastors. It would be really awesome. But we thank you guys for being here. Help us get to so here's the deal. I thought about it last year, Manny, and I really wanted to do that, get to know all the guys. I did go to Siege. Actually, I'm wearing the Siege shirt right now. Bingo. I went to Siege for the first time this year. with my son, Retro Cannon. We have a video on that kind of going around. It's how I met a lot of the guys here. Would love to go to SoCal. Here's a couple problems with it. It's a summer thing. My daughter plays the highest of level of softball you could possibly play. She's been recruited D1 schools, SEC schools, all that. We literally are going to Kansas City, Oklahoma, Florida, Tennessee, California, and Las Vegas this year. And that's all. Most of those are during the summer. I just can't figure out a way to get there. I wish it was at the same time we were in California, maybe squeeze over, but it's not. I think it's the same time we're in Kansas City, which stinks. But one day we will eventually get there. SoCal's on my list. Arkansas is on my list. Retro Ricks is on my list. There is a nerd in the work. There's a nerd ministry summit that happens in Colorado that's on our list, and maybe one up on the north side. But anything in the Georgia, Louisiana area, if you know it, send it. We're probably going to see Bryce at Game Central Station, which that's right up the road from me. I know that there's a CCS that happens in Lawrenceville area around here. Some of the ones in Florida, we would love to get down to. I know Kevin always talks about that. So we'd love to get to all those and just be walking around, much less in it. But if anybody would invite us to be a part and be in it, we would preach a Nerd in the Word church if they would let us. And there is one coming up called Cajun Con next December. Everybody go follow Cajun Con. It looks like it's going to be one of the biggest cons ever in Louisiana. They have already mentioned like 50 star-studded movie, TV guests, wrestlers. It's crazy. The guy putting it on is Scott Ennis, who is the new voice of Scooby-Doo. So he's invited us to be a part, and we're probably going to take it. It's early December of next year. So you guys might want to make that one. It's going to be huge. So yeah, it's a lot of traveling. Yeah, Manny. But I do want to be a part. We love the community. We'll love everybody. Before we let everybody go, 16 of you, make sure you hit the subscribe, the like, if you haven't already, of everybody. Not just me, everybody. Not just Andy, everybody. Not just Zach, everybody. Go follow these are all good people. Last, Zach, share what you've got coming up, what you're doing, where they can find you, your Instagram, whatever you want to share so that they can connect with you, what you got coming up next. And then we'll tell everybody good night.
Well, I think I'm going to start putting some TikToks on some phones and selling for hundreds of dollars because I saw that was going around on Facebook earlier. But in all seriousness, guys, I fly by the seat of my pants when it comes to content. Like I've said before, I thank my supporters so much because most of their comments and stuff is what gives me inspiration. I use an app for general ideas. But tomorrow, the next day, I plan on working on a video. I actually had a commenter reach out to me and say that he was kind of a little thrown back by some of the negativities that he felt in some of my recent videos about talking only about the bad side of collecting and stuff like that. And he really wanted to see a video about the good side of collecting. So that'll be something I'll be working on here pretty soon. Otherwise, like I mentioned earlier, we got a secondary channel that's called it's called Iowa Dad. Iowa Gamer Dad Side Quest. It's basically my more modern stuff. I might be doing live streaming and some other stuff onto that channel just to kind of experiment and do a little more fun stuff with that. But otherwise, guys, I'm just hanging out here being groovy, being real. And just like I said, I built my channel now around a positive community. And I'm a big advocate for men's mental health in general, but of course men's mental health, because let's face it, guys, if you don't want to talk about it, it's not going to get better. So talk about it. It's not weak. It's not like it takes courage to talk about it. It's not weak to talk about your problems. If you have an issue with mental health, make sure you talk to a specialist. And then, just talk about our feelings, guys. Some people say it's weird to talk about that, but talk about your feelings. So, but yeah, I'm just here being.
That, man. Love that.
Hey, so I added Iowa Retro Gamer Dad Side Quest in the chat.
Yep.
I'm
on Instagram.
That's the
Instagram.
big link. Here's the small link, whichever one you want to use. hey guys, been redoing all of our thumbnails, redoing all of our descriptions, tagging everybody that needs to be tagged. We love you guys. We thank you for being a part of this. Tell me what you think. Go check out all of the beginning of the first year. Everything's getting revamped with the same branding. We love just kind of tinkering with those things and seeing how the algorithm jumps and learns. But we will see you guys soon. Hopefully next time you'll see our merch store, and because it's coming, it's around the corner. And this weekend, if you're in the Louisiana area, come see us at Pelicon next weekend. Come see us at Louisiana RetroCon, and the weekends after, you can always see us here on Thursday nights at 7 Central, 8 Eastern, for the next Rushmore. The next one is with Manny.
Be safe, all you guys in the South, with all that snow. I know you guys aren't used to that, so
yeah,
you guys be safe.
Dude, I took a small trip. My grocery store is about 5 miles away. And I took a trip there, and it took me over an hour and a half to get there because of all the cars that had slid off and wrecked. And I like, once I saw them all, I paused and I went the other direction. I found saw all of them there, went another direction. Because my Jeep, I have a Jeep. My wife had it. I had her car. I was not trying to wreck her little car with bad tires. So we finally made it there. It took me like an hour and a half to get 4 miles. And the only reason I went out is because my daughter had walking pneumonia and I had to go get her some prescription. So I was like, dang it. So I had to go get it. But hey, Sky Wonderland dropping in last minute. Welcome.
We have no snow. Literally barely any snow, which is weird for the Midwest. It has been -30 for a couple of days with our winds chill, and you still got the people out there with sweatshirts and like one guy out there was always wearing the shorts. So, but it's just crazy. I made a Facebook post earlier talking about this winter has been nuts. Everybody that should have snow doesn't have snow, and everybody that doesn't have snow, you know what I mean. Like, it's just the South. It's just like there's beaches with snow, which is.
Well, the guy who's on
just
with
be safe, everybody.
The guy who's on with Poetic Christian Gamer in 2 weeks, I think it is. His name's Jag. He's in Florida.
Yeah.
And he had like this high of snow out by his pool,
which is the average snow we usually have this time of year, and we're just really cold.
Yeah.
Fires and high winds in Cali. Hey, well, look, Manny, if you're ever on this side, you're in the Atlanta area, if you guys make it away to Siege, you guys need something on the East Coast, need to find out where to eat or where to stay. If you're landing in the Atlanta airport at any time, any of you guys, let me know. We'll be in that area. Andy's in the New Orleans area. I'm in the Atlanta area, but I'm originally from New Orleans as well. We love you guys. We thank you guys. Waves and Games. Just took my trash out, shorts and flip-flops. It's 5 degrees.
Pete's from the Midwest.
I'm going to drive back to that same grocery store here right after this, because my best friend at work, Aran, who's usually in here, it was his birthday, and I have to get the cake for tomorrow. So I'm going to run out and get it. But let's see how that works. Guys, we love you. We thank you. Andy, time to tell everybody good night, and let's do this. Till next week.
Well, thanks for everyone who joined us tonight. Thanks for all the 17 still in the chat right now. But let's say goodnight like we always do. This is the Rushmore Show, where it's all about your top 4.
And nothing more.
Peace.
God bless.